Hello, everybody.
And I'm just gonna kind of grab his face and push him like 10 feet away.
Yeah.
Do we have...
Are you still writing it out? Thank you.
Carved into the back of this person, it says, "No deal, I steal." In.
Is there a vote for not doing this at all?
Yes. But then we're divided, so you would be the deciding...
Oh, jeez, I know.
You spoke last! You spoke last, baby!
In Season 2, Chapter 40, Bad Grapple Spoils the Bunch. Harriet huddled with the party in advance of her sparring match, hoping that if she could just plan out the correct strategy, she might overcome the disadvantage of whatever sickly liquid was churning her through her stomach. With her opponent looking brawny but rather flat-footed, it was Safira's estimation that she ought to stay quick and mobile, advice that used to great effect in evading almost all of the brute's first few volleys of attacks. Unfortunately, with Harriet's weak constitution and the fact that her fists were making limited contact against an ethereal target, she was quickly whittled down by the few punches that she was unable to deflect. After getting knocked down, we tried to buy her as much time as possible before the second round began, and using Erland's theatrics, enough attention was drawn that Graven was able to apply a coat of silver powder to Harriet's fists to help with the problem of the diminished impact. Safira wasn't able to convince Carvel that a tag team match would be more entertaining for the patrons, but she was able to speak with an insistent capybara companion who'd been watching from the sidelines. David believed he'd identified a pattern in the way that the ghost was fighting, mirroring Harriet's attacks from previous exchanges. But despite relaying this tip and thinking that we had the upper hand, all it took was one more powerful counter to send her sprawling to the floor. As the spirits returned the lounge to its usual arrangement, Carvel came to collect his winnings. Though as a show of good faith and sportsmanship, he was still willing to identify 2 of our plants, as long as we made good on our wager. Orba, unsatisfied and having so little to show for this sidetrack into the woods, proposed an alternative. We keep the money, he analyzes all the plants, and in exchange, she helps release him from this eternal cursed cycle. A prayer and a demonstration was enough to pique Carvel's interest, and he began to examine the flora that we'd foraged. Dalaska, eelsod, red rotala, and more. Weeds and flowers with useful and varied effects that, thanks to Orba's magical plant, could be safely stored until we needed them. Just before it seemed we'd had all our questions answered, Harriet produced a lead-lined red satchel that up until now we didn't know that she possessed. Immediately upon opening it, Erland felt a very visceral, feverish reaction that was impossible to conceal, so it was little surprise when Carvel explained that the bag contained a clump of myconid spores, the very same kind that was the catalyst for the experimentation that the Shocky Mountains harvesting yard. Now was not the time, however, to have a longer discussion about what to do with the spores, for a charred, smoky smell began to seep into the basement, and it dawned on us that these sinner spirits were cursed not only to relive their debauchery, but their demise as well. Running for the exit, Orba pleaded with the remaining ghosts to try and break free from their prison here. But they were unmoved and resigned to their fate. So when we emerged topside, it was alone in the church that had now been consumed by spectral flame. Apparitions of the men and women who had set the church ablaze so many years ago surrounded us, and with no intent to negotiate, our choices were to fight our way out or to perish. Rather than attack us directly, the spirits concentrated their efforts on dragging us back into the fire so we could be cleansed, which unsurprisingly sounded nicer than the reality of being burned alive. It was a struggle between deciding whether to stand our ground or run, especially after Graven promised his deity that he would see these undead extinguished. But finally, we made the call to flee, which was welcome news to Harriet, who had already considered leaving to save her own skin. When we were far enough from the village to feel safe, we struck a bargain to obtain the bag of myconid spores, handing over ample wealth to combat the obvious trepidation that Harriet was experiencing. We weren't sure what we were going to do with them, but we figured it was better in our hands than someone else's. And as we said our goodbyes, we prayed that sleep would be upon us soon, and wondered. If it was truly bandits that Harriet stole the bag from, how had they gotten their hands on it, way out here on the peninsula? What kind of sanction would a disappointed Kuuzni levy upon Graven for his inability to purge the undead?
Inability?
And what situation might arise that requires that dexterity that only comes with being rubbed down with milfoil?
Yeah.
We find out now. I could sense the disappointment when I listed the plan. We find out now on Season 2, Chapter 41 of A Peek Beneath the Veil.
Only the clouded kind for me.
Oh.
That's enough.
That's what it's called. As opposed to crystal clear.
Yeah. Crystal Pepsi.
With time, you distance yourself enough from the village that the smell of smoke no longer lingers in your nostrils, and flickering ethereal flames no longer flash in the sky behind you like a jade lightning storm localized in the sky. The path of least resistance has mostly been following the river, and given that you're following it in a downstream direction, there's a good chance it will eventually take you back to the shore before emptying into the ocean. Harriet's departure has left you holding the bag, quite literally, and you can't help but wonder what Jillian might have suggested you do with it if you were still under her employ.
Oh, shit.
Beyond the question of how safe it might be to have on your person, you aren't knowledgeable enough on the topic of developing myconids to know how long the spores will remain potent, so you hope you can find a use or purpose for them before they lose their efficacy. The sun has mostly set, and the air is cool and crisp. Some latent soreness setting into your muscles after an adrenaline-fueled day of fighting, running, and exploration. Having deviated only slightly from your intended route, you're still looking at maybe just another half day of travel or less before arriving at the isthmus, so your thoughts turn to that of a night's sleep, if a suitable place of relative safety can be identified. So you guys are just kind of walking right now. It's getting pretty dark, following the river a little bit, so just sort of moving as a pack here through the woods.
For those of us who don't speak that terrifying language,
Hey.
what just
You know
happened?
what?
Yeah,
quite
wait.
rude.
How did you... Have you been able to do that this whole time?
No, I've been watching you.
Oh.
Learning.
I've been watching her too. That doesn't mean I know how to speak her language.
Well, I've been paying extra special attention.
That makes sense for her.
I
That's
don't-
cool. I don't get
I
to speak.
figured it would come in handy. No,
To negotiate behind our backs.
listen.
Oh my god.
Look, it was a decision we had to make quickly, and I think that we can potentially all get on the same page that that was a useful thing. Hopefully it was a useful thing. Either way, it's my fucking gold, so I'm happy to not be reimbursed, so don't worry about it. It's fine. We made the decision, and now, actually, let's talk safety protocol.
Oh, yeah.
With this.
Uh-huh. Graven, can you carry it?
Careful,
Is
careful,
Yeah,
careful.
just so if you could just, and I'm just gonna kind of grab his face
okay.
and
It's
push him like 10
closed.
feet away.
Yeah, let's-
I know, but
I
we don't
resist.
know.
Let's review
Sort of a
the-
tangle of limbs as Safira.
It's lined with lead.
Yeah.
And
No,
it
no, I
is
understand, but what's
sealed.
happened before? I'm looking at you, Graven. Is we've dropped things and then stuff gets into the air. So what I'm thinking is we've
Oh,
got to
you're
make.
talking about the time you guys
Yes, yes.
Well,
it was
he
the
dropped the
husk.
husk-scoop.
Okay,
That was pretty funny.
for
Yes,
you,
but the
perhaps.
results will not be this humorous
That's-
this time,
yeah.
potentially.
No, yeah.
Potentially could be lethal. So,
Okay.
or at least alchemically.
Oh, for
different
anyone,
you.
not just me. They're administering
Right.
this to
No,
everyone.
I'm not saying it's not dangerous for us. I'm just saying you in particular, I'd like to say very far away.
Listen, as far as...
None of us should be breathing this stuff because when we saw this, they were using all sorts of equipment to keep it from getting in their fucking lungs. So
Right.
we've got to be careful.
Well, just a reminder that this is what they were testing on people. Yes, this is how they were So
Yes.
not just me, but also you. You don't know if you could, without even knowing it, be a type B or even more terrifyingly a C.
Yeah, sure. I understand. It's not going to turn me into a fucking myconid, though.
You might. It might.
It might. You don't know.
I suppose. I'm thinking the risk with you is potentially greater.
I'm just saying, everyone needs to be careful around it.
Craven, are you going to open it and eat it?
While they were speaking, I
opened it
was
and
twice.
You look.
I was twice and thrice over double checking the satchel itself, making sure that like whatever
Yeah.
ties it had or closures were secure.
It's not roughshod. It looks like it was made with the purpose of, like, the bag itself that is lead lined, but it doesn't look like it was a bag for another purpose that was repurposed to be lead lined.
Yeah.
There's clearly like stitching where lead sheets were sort of slid in and then stitched over, and there's several spots where like there's a little almost like a pin or a knob that you can wrap like string around to pull it tight. So it seals pretty well. Like you would have to really jostle it to accidentally open it. Like dropping it on the ground would almost certainly not open it.
and I've carefully rechecked each of those and like made sure they reached.
Yeah, if you tie a little knot on the ends of them, it like holds them tight there.
and then put it not at the bottom of my bag, but just safely tucked into the bag.
While he's like tying it up, can Orba like squat and try to look at it real close to see if there's any like stitchings on it or markings of any kind?
Investigation check.
No.
8.
The only thing that sort of strikes you about it is simply that it looks pretty new. Like it doesn't look like it's been handed around or transported for a long period of time.
Okay.
It's in good shape, other than that.
Is this, for the amount of time that we have it, that it is useful, is this a weapon?
No, I don't think so. I mean,
As far as I know, it doesn't. It's not like the X caps or the sort of ways that people consume myconids to gain powers in any sort of way. It is, as far as we know, really only used to determine someone's vulnerability to myconid.
No, this is what changes you.
That's what I'm saying.
Oh.
Yes, it's
You
not.
said determined.
Yeah.
Sorry, no, I
determine.
meant like an X cap gives you specific abilities, enhancements. As far as we know, the spores don't provide any enhancement. It just could perhaps turn you into a mutant or a myconid, or just make you a little sick if you're lucky.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
No-
Is this a weapon?
no. Look, that is not the intention for why. That's not why I wanted to buy it. This could be potentially useful for a variety of reasons. I'm hoping, honestly, negotiation with someone. Look, I need to get more information about what's going on in the myconid trade. I'm probably not going to be able to do it in the next, in the near future. So whether or not this was exactly the moment to acquire this, I have no idea. Not saying I totally thought it through. I'm just saying.
We could place. You could take a handful of soil from Fred, perhaps, and dust it over top.
I don't know if when I want any of us to get that close to it without proper equipment to keep us safe.
I would do it with some kind of safety precaution, but they also have myconid soil still a little bit left.
Oh, you
on
do? Then
Well, what I'm
the
wondering
Natural
is
Studies
that could
Institute.
perhaps be useful.
these spores, is that not how they proliferate themselves in their natural habitat? Would I know? Like, is that
Oh,
sort
that's a
of...
good question.
For general mushroom knowledge, sure, but you don't know that myconids act exactly that
It's
same
like
way.
that way,
But sure, in general, yeah. For fungal proliferation, sure, yeah. The spores spread.
I wouldn't know if this is the kind of thing where a myconid could be grown out of this under the right circumstances. So this could be valuable for a variety of reasons to a variety of different people.
I see.
But I'm hoping if we take it to the right ones, for instance, if we are lucky or unlucky, perhaps, depending on how you look at it, enough to meet with Grimari when we get into the Shade Assembly, then
If he's in the Shade
this is the
Assembly.
person to ask questions to.
Let me be more blunt. In the time that we have this, we are still on the road and do not know when we will be near anyone we trust.
I know.
Were we to be set upon by someone about to overtake us,
I think we have better
am
weapons
I
to
allowed to use this as a weapon?
No,
I would ask no, because unless we're imminently all about to die and we have absolutely nothing else to do, but we've got some other defenses.
for me.
No, also, here's the thing. Also, it wouldn't... It seems, on average, most people are type A. Significantly most
Statistically, I don't think it's in our favor.
people. So if you threw it
It's
at them,
probably a waste.
chances are they'd have a stomachache the next day.
I mean,
There's-
like,
It
shove it
doesn't-
down their throat.
Then they might have a stomachache the next
right
hour.
now. But the stomachache doesn't exactly prevent you from
Most-
I have a
doing-
stomachache from you shoving your fist.
The point...
I was already full from dinner.
Couldn't possibly have another fight.
The,
bit more.
the point is, the reason they wanted to put this into entire cities was because it's quite rare to find someone who's a mutant, and even rarer still to find someone with the possibility to become a
They wouldn't
myconid.
be able to dose entire cities with something like this if it were to
It's-
cause immediate effects like what you're describing.
We have several other things that are more productive weapons than that outside of this.
Okay, so
Things
it's
value.
going to be stored for
Safekeeping, hopefully bargaining,
or
information, I don't know.
And we don't tell anyone we have it unless we have to. It's very dangerous. What I was saying to Herringbone is true.
We may find out more information, and we may want to try to destroy it if there's a safe way to do that.
I don't-
But
That's
I don't
probably
know.
the easiest thing to do.
As far as we know, that harvesting
we
yard
just-
that we...
I want to know.
As far as we know, that harvesting yard that we destroyed was the only one doing something like
As
that,
far as we
right?
know, but clearly the bandits were involved somehow. I mean, they
or-
had to know what it was. It's carried in a package, or they were just given it by someone mysterious. But why?
I think the possibilities are endless as to why there were spores in the middle of a forest or why somebody was transporting them. I don't know if it's worth our time to possibly hypothesize all the opportunities.
I'll be hypothesizing. I don't have to do it out
That's fine.
loud, but I'll be doing it.
Okay.
You
Are
can
we
kind of see her like eyes glaze over.
Immediately, Safira's like, yes, goes down towards the
Are we
corner.
seeing any good places to rest?
Oh fuck.
I mean, yeah, looking around.
Keeping it out? Okay.
I won't shove it down anyone's throat.
Thank you, Graven.
Please don't.
Thank
Unless
you,
we all
Graven.
agree that it's a good idea.
No.
No.
For now, no.
Okay.
Okay.
Sort of as that decision is made to sort of keep it in safekeeping for now, not utilize it in a way that breeds uncertainty. As you're sort of keeping an eye out around you for maybe a potential spot to set down, you hear something quietly zip through the air
No, we don't.
and stick down by Safira's foot. A short shafted arrow, almost as small as a crossbow bolt, but not quite. From the angle that it sticks out of the soil, it's like perpendicular to you. You look, and it looks like it came from across the river on the opposite bank. And suddenly the whole group is kind of on a quiet alert, and everybody kind of pivots to scan the area. Perception checks.
Oh, jeez.
Fuck, man. Shit, fuck.
Why?
Wow.
19.
12.
5.
4.
Safira tracking the angle of the arrow. You look over to the opposite bank, and you expect to see maybe some kind of movement, shadows, a change in the little bit of light that's left. And you're surprised when you don't see much of the kind, although with the river being at least 40 feet wide at this juncture, a shift in the reeds would be maybe difficult to discern. However, you spot a kind of little rounded shape that sticks up just slightly higher than the rest of the rocks along the bank. And as a breeze kind of comes through at that exact moment, and it looks like a hood of some kind, like a gray hood that someone's wearing that just caught just a briefest moment of the wind, and you see a sliver of pale skin showing like their face. It looks like they're wearing not just a hood, but like a mask as well that's covering all the way past their nose. just barely noticeable amongst the brush. After you notice them, you seem to think for a moment that the two of you kind of make eye contact, and a hand comes up and makes a tiny little flame just to make a little bit of light. And you can see now, without being able to really identify much about them, humanoid shape, but a little flame in their hand that reveals sort of the front of their face, as much of it that you can see. And the flame goes out.
Is that supposed to mean something to me?
What?
I'm seeing someone, and can I kind of gesture to like
You can
where
gesture
I?
to where they are.
Is there, if I look at the bolt, is there a note on it or anything?
There is not. No.
Are they close enough that it seems as though they missed us on purpose?
I don't know.
It's about a 50-foot shot.
Does it
So not hard.
Not terribly.
any distinguishing markings on it? Anything like any evidence of poison on it or anything?
Nope.
I'm just gonna cast Blade Ward just for the next 6 seconds.
Whatever it is, or it looks humanoid. It's trying to communicate with me. It lit a flame like this, and then does this mean anything to you? I'm
Yes,
trying to
that
turn.
means
I'm
mum's-
deliberately turning away.
That means
So
mum's the word. Like,
No,
don't
no,
say
on his
anything.
nose.
Yeah, that means mum's the word. Don't say anything. Isn't it like,
Wouldn't that be this?
no, let's be quiet. This is, don't tell anyone.
I don't know if that's what that
Okay, well,
is.
why don't we just take it as let's shut the fuck up for a second?
What should I do? Should I
Are
sign
they
back
still
to it?
there? I'm like,
I'm
No,
gonna
see
look
that same-
over.
Nose back to it. Nose back. Tap nose back.
Okay, I'm gonna kind of. We need a flame.
No, just. Oh,
That's what he did first.
I could take a pebble and make it red and give it to you.
Okay, I'm gonna
As
kinda
soon
hold
as
it
the
like this.
it glows,
As soon as he does that, I'm gonna close my hand.
you close your hand over it. It stays lit in there.
Do you want it to go out?
Right out.
I'll dispel it.
I'm gonna kind of. Okay, now he's definitely saying shh.
can we see him as well? Sorry.
You can see where he is after she pointed that out.
I'm gonna kind of put my hand like this and then. Can we approach?
Are there like shadows and trees near the
There's
side
lots of
the
trees,
road?
yeah.
Okay.
Erland's not gonna move. I'm just gonna kneel down.
Okay. Kind of down into the reeds
Into
near
the
the
reeds,
by
yeah.
the side
Yeah, I'll
of
do
the.
the same.
Keeping an eye out.
Give me stuff.
To the side of the road.
Also,
yeah.
has it been
There isn't really a road, but you're following the river pretty much.
has it been an hour since I killed the ghost?
It's
Oh wait,
been
no,
less
it's
than
undead. I don't. Do I not get fatal drop from undead? No, I do.
What does it say?
I can't remember. Hold on.
I think that was only hit points. that
Reducing a
we-
creature. Okay, yeah. Reducing a creature to 0 hit points using an attack or a spell.
Which you did. It has been less than an hour since
Great.
you
So I still
left.
have that. Okay. Stealth.
Yep.
7.
Guys, 25.
Natural 20.
So you guys all kind of immediately, Graven and Orba just kind of get down, and then Erland and Safira pull you guys like into the reeds there, where it's a little more obscured. Some of the cattails kind of brushing against your forehead as you crouch by the side of the river, and there's kind of an uncomfortably long period of silence, where nothing happens. No one moves. And some of those uncomfortable thoughts, the ones you don't want to have to think, start to creep in. Is your staying put meant for your safety, or others closing in at the behest of this figure who's urging you to remain sort of quiet and hidden? But you don't see them move. Safira's sort of peeking through the reeds.
Yeah, I'm trying
continue
to
to
keep
kinda
my
keep
eyes
your
on
eye.
him.
I'll close my eyes and just try to
And I'm
listen.
particularly looking at whether or not he's keeping his eyes on me, or if he ever does like one of those.
Okay. Give me perception checks, both of you.
Something better than I have been. 18.
Oh, bullshit. 3.
Okay. Difficult to see without, now that he no longer has the flame lit. Extremely hard to tell
Yeah.
when his head is turning without the breeze kind of moving his, the hood there. So Graven closes his eyes, he just listens and focuses. And it's hard to hear over the sounds of the river, the brook beside you. But one thing that you do take note of is the absence of something else. You don't hear something approaching, heavy footsteps, a call, a croak, a caw, nothing of the kind.
We're still fucking poisoned.
I know.
Bonkers. Advantage for the stealth.
Yeah. Oh, fuck. I forgot.
Should we roll that?
Well,
It's okay.
yeah.
A minute goes by. 2 minutes go by.
Could this be an illusion of some kind?
It could be a trap. I don't know.
Why wouldn't they have just shot us? It's not that hard of a shot.
Well, now we're in the reeds.
Yes, but when they had the chance, why would they tell us to...
Reinforcements?
That's why I listened to him, is because I thought it was peculiar. If he was trying to murder us, then he would have had a chance.
So, help me picture this. So, we're in reeds, river, and then they're in reeds?
Yeah,
Separating
there's
it?
like reeds on both sides of the river, on both banks of the river.
And he's on the other bank, though, right?
yeah, he's on the
Okay.
opposite bank of the river.
And how, it's a 40-foot river, you said?
Yeah. I mean, you estimate 40,
Yeah.
50 feet river. Yeah.
Should someone quietly try and go over? Let's...
I don't know how that would improve our situation.
I think we should stick
Give it
together.
5 more minutes.
Yes.
Just a few minutes.
4 more minutes go by.
Oh my god.
Minutes that feel like 30. And your instincts to not linger in one unsecured location are kicking into overdrive, sort of hyper aware. You haven't seen or heard anything that might constitute a threat or something approaching. The sky is growing blacker by the second it was already very much setting. Creeping darkness, creeping doubt, sort of making the blood. You can hear like that sort of blood rushing through your ears as you try and stay as quiet as physically possible. Perception checks for everyone. With disadvantage if you're playing.
Yeah.
Oh, which die will I use?
Now it's up to us.
I remember, but I forgot.
17.
6,
man.
13.
What is this again? Perception? 5.
Oh, sorry, what were
13.
17.
Good work, guys.
Thank you.
Good, not great.
Orba sort of creeping forward ever slightly. You poke your head out toward the river and you don't really see anything, and you kind of let the reeds swallow you back up, and then you go on the other side, kind of where you were walking along the river. It wasn't really a road or a trail, but it was, you know, that's where you were walking as you were following it. Poke your head out there. And suddenly, from between 2 trees that are alarmingly close to where the group is sitting, like less than 30, 40 feet away, a tremendous black shadow emerges that seems to wax and wane in visibility. Not unlike something, especially because you just experienced it, under the effects of like the Pass Without Trace spell. Like it has some kind of cloaking aspect to it, cloaking itself or being cloaked in some way. So this sort of shifting and warping shadow that makes it difficult to kind of tell exactly what it is. As it gets closer, the shadow is huge, 25 feet in length, maybe longer.
Like vertically or
No, like it starts to get closer, and you can see it moving between some of the trees. And as it's not passing by you. Yeah, it's kind of passing by. It's not heading straight towards you. It's passing like just as if it was to go over your shoulder, and you can see its length. Like it has this long body of some kind, or whatever's being obscured is over 25 feet in length.
Oh my god.
It's mind-boggling how something so large could have snuck up so stealthily without the benefit of like a real invisibility. As it moves forward, you notice that it's hovering about 10 feet above the ground. So which explains the lack of kind of noise from the underbrush or anything that it might have been stepping across. That shadow, its body, kind of moves in sync so that the front and back kind of mirror each other's motion. So if it's like a long thing, it kind of goes like this and like this. So the back and the front are kind of synced. It's moving in like almost
like
the
a
back
snake
and-
or like a Mack truck? Like, you know, like the truck, like with one turn.
Those are very different.
It's a Tokyo drifting 18-wheeler, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's exactly what it is.
Orba looks at the
Okay,
thing,
wait.
she's like, that looks
Okay,
just like a
better
Mack truck.
analogy. Is it like a snake where it's very fluid, or is it like Komodo dragon lizard where it's like kind of chunky?
It looks very fluid.
Okay.
Yes. Slithering would be, it's not quite slithering, but it moves in that kind of rocking back and forth motion a little bit.
Okay.
It's like something swimming through the air instead of swimming
my
through
God.
water.
Sucks.
As it gets closer, the outline of it starts to take shape a little bit as it gets so close that it's literally passing over your guys' heads in the reeds here. So you're watching this shadow sort of emerge overhead. It has a narrow cylindrical body with flat protruding limbs, almost like fins of a shark.
No.
And a shark is indeed what it reminds you of as it slowly drifts overhead. To the more worldly among you, now that it's right overhead for Safira and Graven, This is a night scaver. S-C-A-V-V-E-R, scaver. It's like a shark or whale-like flying creature that they usually lie dormant during the day and they come out at night, where their sort of adaptive obsidian-colored skin obscures their movements. So it looks like a shark, moving through the air overhead. And it's moving it's the front of the shadow gets over the top of you guys, and you watch it sort of drift slowly overhead. Yeah.
My knowledge of this is: are they nocturnal because they're hunting? Are they nocturnal because they don't want to? Okay.
They hunt at night.
Yeah. And what is their prey that I know of? How long?
What is their
prey?
The size of their
Give me a survival.
About like 7 or 8 feet.
Yeah, I was gonna say about our size.
16.
16. They're opportunistic. Like, they're not gonna chase something or go up against something that seems like an obvious threat or something, but they will try to pick on things that are significantly smaller than it in a sort of quick attack. They usually try and like grab something and run. They'll maybe grab a young deer and take it away, and like quickly they'll sort of disappear into the woods there.
And do they travel in herds?
Not typically. Okay. No. And something else that you remember about them is that, like some very specific breeds of sharks, they don't birth live young. They have little eggs in like a pouch, like a mermaid's purse, these sort of embryo pouches.
Shark pouches.
And those can be very valuable. The pouches that they leave behind.
Oh, they leave them behind.
Yeah, they sort of like...
Oh.
Now I'm interested.
They're absent parents. They just kind of plop.
And for that reason, sometimes there are people known to track scavers in the night to try and sort of grab any sort of young embryo pouches that they leave behind.
And they fly, like they have flight speed.
They hover.
Hover,
Yeah,
okay.
yes,
They
they
wouldn't
couldn't
be
like
able to
fly
go-
up into the sky, but
Okay.
yes, they hover above the ground there. So
Yeah, if it's still right over us,
is
I'm
right
like
overhead.
reaching out to like just clasp and.
Give me stealth checks with advantage, regular if you're poisoned.
Why?
Oh my
Why
god.
though? Oh,
That is
yeah,
cocked.
baby.
That is cocked. That is cocked.
18.
Please.
15.
10.
11.
Okay. It gets sort of halfway by, 3/4 of the way by, and then it gets to the point where maybe the part that's still overhead is just its tail or fin of some kind that's just sort of flapping back and forth in kind of a slow sort of... What am I looking for? Pendulum. I was almost said palindrome. I knew that wasn't correct. Pendulum. A very sort of slow back and forth motion. And it seems like it stops. Silently, sort of overhead. Once again, the only sound around you, that of the river. And in a flash, it illuminates a sort of bulbous front horn. And you recall this as you guys sort of know a little bit about the scavers. It has this impossibly bright white light that in an instant the forest looks like it exists in this time of day where the sun is shining, but there's no warmth or depth of color. Like everything's black and white. But it illuminates the whole area. It's like a searchlight is overhead, and you duck down into the reeds. And the light turns off. And it's so just like as you're looking out, you're seeing spots in your eyes just from the brightness of the light, and then suddenly it's black again. And then continues to move forward. Another 30 seconds pass.
Wait.
Another minute passes. Safira looks over to that spot where she knew the person was, and you see one more. Give me a perception check as well.
That was me trying to say thank you. Natural one.
He looks like he reaches into a pocket or a bag or something on him, and then he crouches down kind of even tighter and smaller into the reeds, and you can't see exactly what he's doing.
Okay. I'm just gonna...
Another minute passes.
I can't really see shit. I can't see anything.
Is our friend still there?
He's still there, but we should be quiet.
All right. Wait a little longer. I don't think they travel in packs.
Let's hope.
A little bit longer. And then you hear a familiar sound.
Okay. I'm
As you poke your head up, you look over. It's gone. The figure that was over on the
Is there
opposite
anything
path.
on the arrow?
There is another arrow stuck in the ground.
Yes, I thought there might be a note.
Oh, we made a friend.
It's another fuck you, Erland.
Fuck you, Safira.
Hey, he's left us a message.
Does
I'm
it
a
say
bit
if
frightened to...
we're safe?
No, it's dangerous to travel by night around here. Best to keep conversations to a minimum if you must speak at all. Another 200 yards downriver is a den where I spent the previous night. That's nice. Yours if you want it, and it's rubs down good with troll urine. Oh, well, delightful. I'll be passing back through here tomorrow. A tip left by the riverbank for saving your lives wouldn't go unappreciated. Sure, so he wants a tip.
Who's it from? We have
Fair enough. It says Mow the Crow.
Mow.
Oh,
Is anyone familiar?
The
I'm not-
action
I
of
have no
mowing
idea.
or the name? Mow.
No, it just says M-O. Mow.
That was an order.
Yeah,
Don't forget to
crow.
mow
Yeah,
the
mow.
crow before you leave.
That's what I thought.
All right, the tip.
the crow.
Safe.
I mean,
night.
yeah, no, I appreciate the
tip.
tip because that could have easily been a nightmare.
Yes, no, he's asking for a tip.
No,
Yes.
no, I know. I'm saying I'm happy to leave him one.
We'll think one up
Okay,
tonight.
he says 200 yards down river. So let's just not talk, travel cautiously, and eyes up. Yeah.
where does he want the tip?
He said I'll be passing through here tomorrow. So I suppose left by the riverbank. He said.
No, we'll leave it in the. No, leave it in the den.
Well, no. He said he was passing through here. I think so. We leave it
The
by
den's
the
only
riverbank.
200 yards away.
Just put it in
Okay,
the den.
We'll leave
fine,
it
we'll
there.
put him to den. Jeez.
I'm sure he'll find
I
it.
just want to give a tip.
We're at the point of paranoid now where we're like, tips, where do we put them?
Leave a trail.
I don't know, man. Just
I've got the hand axe. I'll make a little suggestion box thing and like install it in the.
It's a leave a penny, take a penny.
Leave a tip, take a tip.
All right.
So you guys very quietly start to move. You creep a little further downriver. You refrain from additional conversations. You let the quiet rush of the river cover your footsteps. Just a kind of silent, thoughtful trek through these seldom explored areas of the Upper Peninsula. Just a few minutes later, you see a tree whose stubborn roots attempted to grow up through a collection of rocks, and in doing so sort of created a decent-sized little opening, obscured by some reeds and brush. For one person, this would be a cozy little hideout. For four, it's less convenient. Though as long as you don't mind curling up tight or overlapping legs as you sleep,
Spoon order. What's the spoon order?
it should serve its purpose.
Well, 3 are sleeping at a time, I guess.
There's, as you get closer, there's a distinct kind of sweet smell near the entrance, but it's a bad sweet, like a rotting
You recognize the smell of troll urine or no?
When you smell that, you don't know for sure, but you assume as such.
What was the stuff that we had?
It's basilisk.
Basilisk.
Yeah.
So, not, it has a different smell, but as soon as you get
Similarly
close, you can smell it.
stinky.
You have to believe that it's the aforementioned urine doing its work to keep the creatures away, a job that it performs maybe even a little too well for your liking. Even as you get inside the sort of den there, you can still sort of smell the sweetish, rotting taste.
In my mouth.
So you guys find the little den there by the river.
Can we spend a little bit of time? I know it's small, but can we just take a quick little search around, see if he left anything, see if there are any carvings, notes?
Give me an investigation check.
Can someone help me?
No,
I can. I'm poisoned still.
I'm tired.
12.
Nothing of the kind. No notes, no scrawlings, no markings of any kind. You think back to when Praxis identified that cave in the Sky Bowl where they had actually marked, like, this is a safe cave by marking it with, like, a marking. Nothing of that kind. And also some of the ways that the plants and sort of undergrowth has grown over this. Without his telling you that this was coming, you might have missed it. Like, this was a pretty concealed little spot that might be utilized for sort of carefully staying out of sight.
I mean, it's nice that it's discreet, I suppose.
Watches?
Yes, counter.
I shouldn't. Well,
I'll
I
take
suppose
first watch. I'll take first watch.
I'm still poisoned.
Take second.
Yeah. Third, I suppose.
All right, final.
No fire, obviously.
No.
You all have food?
Yeah.
Okay.
Plenty of rations. rations.
I'm pulling some rations out of my bag and starting to eat.
You okay?
Oh, I thought you shushed me.
No.
I'm being quiet.
I know. It sounded like you were in pain.
No stretching.
Okay.
So you guys kind of make a little clump of limbs there with bedrolls, but in this den, yeah, with 4 people in there. Luckily, when someone's on watch, it opens up a little bit, even if you just sit kind of by the entrance. But it's not the most room you've ever had in a bed, but it'll do. It'll certainly do. In fact, the sort of clumped, concealed nature of it almost gives you a little bit of peace of mind, just sort of in this area that otherwise feels a little exposed on all fronts. You guys begin to take your watches. Why don't you guys all roll perception checks?
Can I also take a second during this rest to figure out what the heck is going on with these arrows?
You may.
Oh,
Give me your
nice.
perception check first.
Yeah.
Everybody give me your perception check.
To figure out like that.
7.
Oh, that's wonderful.
13.
Mediocre. 11.
22.
Nice, thank you, Graven.
And give me a Arcana check.
Disadvantage?
Disadvantage.
Yes.
Oh, can I help?
Yeah,
Oh, I
she
guess. Are you
should've-
doing that before?
She's
that?
sleeping. That's a natural one.
Natural.
Oh my goodness gracious.
You think that it's gurgling through your stomach so much, that liquid, that it's literally hard to concentrate. You're like
Okay.
looking them over, and you constantly have to sort of stop. It feels like a stitch kind of in your gut. And you think that with having let the poison run through with some time, that it wouldn't be too hard to figure out what they do, but you're
Yeah.
unable to do so.
Okay.
First watch? First watch? What was the order?
I was 3rd.
Second.
Second, third. Night passes through. As Graven going to sleep first and then taking the final watch, Graven's slumber is a little less restful than he would like. Sort of tossing, turning. Which, for the largest person in this modest den, often results in kind of bumping into some of the other party members. Luckily, a little too tired to do anything but grumble in response.
That was his arm.
Each time that you drift off, you keep seeing the faces of the undead in that village. Floating kind of in stillness, holding their torches high, sort of stoicism about them. It's intercut with other images of fire. See flashes. Times perhaps when the source of the cleansing fire was you. And you were not the one being consumed by it. Give me a religion check.
Oh, fuck.
Show me something, you son of a bitch. 10.
As these images flash through your mind, and as you were sort of lying down, getting ready to sleep, the last kind of thoughts running through your head were your disservice to Guzni, your proclaim, sort of in his name, that you would destroy the undead and did not. And you just get the sense, something in the back of your mind, that the next time you come across something undead that displeases the God of Light, you may struggle to hold your magic in check. That because you sort of broke that bargain, that he may bypass your will and act for you the next time that happens.
And that it would be close to impossible to stop it.
It's more difficult than usual, perhaps, to stop that, yes. So just that because you were unable to do that, now just have this feeling that if you were to see one of those faces again, or come across an undead that was corrupt or cursed or displeased in some way, that it would be impossible to not kind of to sort of enact his will.
Hungry. Dead.
Finally, you feel just a little shake, and I think Safira wakes you for the final watch there after some uneventful watches.
You alright?
Yes.
Okay.
Glad to have gotten rest. Nothing happened. Nothing.
Nothing of note. I didn't see anything.
Keep an eye out for scavers.
Yeah. Look up. I'm gonna kind of immediately roll into my.
look out for them.
Yeah. Good luck, man.
Lay her down and push her into the spot. I'll push her in. Zoop.
Is there room in this very small cabin? Was there like a surface I could leave a parchment, ink, and quill out?
Sure.
Curious.
I mean,
It wouldn't be like secret or anything, like just out on a table or something.
Table.
Or a surface that is comparable to a table, like just
Like
have
a
something
Like the ground?
Yeah, sure.
You can,
biggest
that
table
you
of
can
all.
place
Also
you can
works.
place a parchment on the ground.
Okay.
Like put it on your forehead on the ground.
Uh,
in there.
Sorry. Mind your business.
Okay.
Oh, during Orba's watch, she would have just had a parchment out with ink and quill, and at the top she's just gonna write, why
Oh.
Graven's mad at Orba, and then put
God.
a colon or a semicolon. I don't know what it is. And then she's gonna leave the quill in the inkwell, and then she's gonna go.
You just give him an open answer question?
Yeah, just get
Not even multiple choice?
She'll even draw a little box where he fills out the form.
At the bottom it says minimum 500 words.
Yeah. Maximum 500 words. Tell me quickly.
Do I find it?
You do indeed find it. Safira, I mean, if Orba did it during her watch,
Yeah,
Safira saw it and was like, what the fuck? And put it back on the ground.
She's like, why is it blank? Well, with my very high perception roll, I'll also keep an eye on the skies. But
Oh no. Just angry face. He just drops the sack.
Angry.
what did it say?
Why Graven's mad at Orba?
No, I'm not saying this out loud.
You know.
Not angry. Full stop. Be more selfish. Roll it up. Just sit and watch.
Graven's watch goes by. No shadows overhead. No nothing. And you watch and wait for the morning to come.
And it does.
When it does, it's in the form of orange streaks squeezing between the trees until they find their way to the river, where a glittering display is reflected onto the backs of your eyelids, making it impossible not to stir, even if your body feels like it could benefit from learning the ways of hibernation.
That sounds good.
A couple of you poke your head out of the den, and what was a kind of daunting abyss of unfamiliar darkness has transformed into a rather placid wooded surroundings. Tamped down grasses and a lack of undergrowth, making it simple to traverse without worrying about any kind of insects or critters down around your calves and ankles, any leeches or anything like that. As you look out, a slight downward slope and some intensifying light in the downriver direction leads you to believe that you probably aren't too far from reuniting with the coast, at which point the only known quantity between you and the isthmus is the Mullafair shipwreck, and perhaps the sea hag that resides there. Something to ponder and discuss as you think about what such a meeting or mission might entail.
Suck.
I know that reaction.
I guess as the sun is coming up, thinking about how close everything is, I'll just be thinking of pockets and Shangri-La and like trying to picture them together and what that was like and how fucking bad he's gonna be when we finally see him again.
Erland and Safira who wake up, and as the light touches you, you sort of instinctively, because you've been doing it for hours over the course of the night, you instinctively go to touch your stomach, and you breathe easy. Thank fucking God. You're no longer poisoned.
Oh,
That's
we're back, baby.
Can I look at the arrows now?
If you want to take another hour, it would take like a short rest to attempt.
Hey guys.
What?
So last night I looked at these arrows. Couldn't figure it out at all. If I take another hour here now, my stomach's not fucked. So I'm thinking maybe I'll be able to learn. I couldn't take it last night. I tried, but I was
Are they
about ready to.
magical in nature? Would you like help?
Oh, actually, perhaps I'm gonna kind of take them out of the quiver, and I don't know. Do you want to give it a go? You can try.
Well, I mean, if you wanted to do it, I could just, watch over and point out some stuff.
Honestly, this means nothing to me. I have no fucking clue what's going on here. So.
Okay, if the group's fine waiting for an hour.
Yes, if you two want to try together.
Yeah.
Okay.
We got up pretty early. I mean,
Yeah, I mean, you probably went to bed around 9:30, 10 o'clock.
got up with the sunrise, so pretty early still. Okay. Yep. That's fine.
While they're doing that, I'll look around for some food, so we don't
Okay.
have to maybe use
Give me an
rations.
investigation check, and both of you roll Arcana and give me the higher of the roll between you.
Oh, baby.
Investigation is dirty 20.
Okay.
Oh, come on, Orba, you're in here.
I am Reaper, so my Arcana's not as good, but it's
Oh
still pretty good.
man, it can't be as bad as mine. I hope
11.
Okay.
it's not as bad as mine.
breached the double digits there.
Yay!
Slowly together, pooling your knowledge a little bit, Safira's sort of unconfident in her ability. Actually, you find that as Orba's sort of examining, your knowledge of, ammunition is useful, your knowledge of tipped arrows and different things that you've seen. You identify these as floating fletched arrows. When this arrow strikes a surface, solid or liquid, it creates a circular horizontal plane of force, 3 feet in diameter and 1 inch thick. The disc remains for the duration and can hold up to 500 pounds. If more weight is placed on it, it vanishes and everything falls to the ground. So what it does is, like, if you shot it at the water, it would go and make a little platform in the water.
Yes!
How much do you weigh?
Too much.
Not
Wait,
500
500.
Oh, I didn't hear that. I'm
pounds.
sorry. I'm sorry. Like
You do
350.
not.
I'm 165.
I'm like 350.
Yeah, easily at least 2 of you can stand on it.
320. 325. I probably lost 5
So we
pounds
all
on this-
can't go
on this
on.
adventure. so
You all can't get it. I mean, it's not that wide anyway. If a creature is struck with one of these arrows, it has to succeed on a strength saving throw or take 2d4 force damage and be pushed 15 feet. So you can either fire it at a surface and create a little platform, or it makes like a force
I had
burst.
4 of these.
If you hit someone, does it
Or
also
things
stay
like
there?
No, the platform does not appear if you hit a creature with it. Yeah,
That's fucking sick. How many do you have?
4 of them.
4.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah. All right.
As Erland takes a peek around, you sort of cross back and forth a couple times, and you see Orba and Safira kind of hunched over, sort of turning the arrows over in their hands, examining some of the markings on them. Very quickly, you notice, without having to go too far, that there's a kind of bushel or cornucopia of fruit and nuts and sort of edible fungus that has been left out. There's like a leafy platter sort of made with a pile of fruit and berries and things that's been left out. And just as you're walking up to it, you see a bird kind of disappear into the tree.
Oh, thanks. The owl's name?
Scooter?
Scooter.
It didn't look like the bird was Scooter, but it looked like...
No, yeah, upon...
A friend.
Yeah, so you find a little sort of helping of certainly enough for all of you
Right.
to eat a meal.
While I'm looking around, do I find any scaver eggs?
You do not find any.
Oh, that's a shame. All right, I'll bring the little salad platter back.
Sure, you do so.
This is courtesy of Scooter and his friends, I believe.
What?
A bird made it for us.
Wow.
Hang on, no way. And Safira kind of pulling through it. They found all of this.
edible
What do
mushrooms,
you mean a
berries.
bird? Did you see a bird do this? Was
no,
there
I
like a
saw
little
a bird-
bird butler? And
I saw a bird fly away from it, like after having deposited, I assume.
hey, that's Scooter. This is great.
Scooter's a classy owl.
I can't believe. Look at what they found. And she's gonna start like kind of eating stuff.
I think it's for everyone, Safira.
Sorry.
Did
sorry.
you save Scooter? Yeah, I mean, all of it. You recognize most of them. They look edible. They're very much, yeah. I mean,
Nothing suspicious.
there's some mushrooms that taste a little earthy, but they're perfectly fine to eat. All of it's nourishing.
Do you feel better? I feel better.
Yeah, I feel okay.
Good.
Better than I did yesterday. Yeah.
Or
And this is great.
Find the note. Put her ancient stuff away. She's gonna.
We should leave a note for that person who gave us this spot.
And perhaps some gold
Even this
as well.
spot, do you think? I thought, we didn't leave him a tip by the...
No, we're gonna leave him a tip here.
Well, but he said it specifically in the note to leave it by the riverbank. He did.
We
I'm
are by the
ruffling and
riverbank.
pulling it out of my bag.
You're a little ways down, but you're still by the river.
Should we not put it a bit closer to the riverbank?
This is the obscured place that he knows about. If
All
we leave
right,
it out in the middle of
yeah,
nowhere,
that's fine.
someone else is going to find
Maybe
it. Or
we leave him some other fruit too.
I think you'd rather have
I'd rather eat this.
Yes, and leave him some gold.
We don't know when he's. Well, we do know.
5 gold? Is that enough?
I don't know how much
2
more.
gold?
Oh, I was.
1 gold?
Let's just do as he asked.
Leave a tip.
Information.
Oh,
Oh, I took it this
I
morning.
took it as
a
a monetary
monetary
tip.
A tip about surviving out
Does the-
here. Does it not
Does the
say?
phrase
No,
tip
hang on.
like exist in our world? Like
Like
monetary tip?
That exists. You guys
Okay.
use that at
Just
bars.
Let
making
me.
sure
Could I
I'm
see
not-
this note?
Yeah.
That is-
No, hang on. I think it says pretty specifically.
Oh,
Yeah, no, I think he's
a
asking
tip
for
left
money.
by the riverbank for saving your lives.
He's saying
I-
I saved you.
Right.
Give me
That
money.
was nice for you.
I took it as
Can I get payment?
I tipped you off to this thing. Give me a tip.
Well, what do
About
we?
this
what,
area.
what,
We
what
clearly know nothing
information?
about this
That I was
area.
just gonna say we were walking around like a bunch of morons.
I'm
having a
giving 5
conversation
gold if
and
anybody else.
I would
wants
love to
anything.
leave some
Scaver
gold.
on this
5
side.
gold as well.
I thought I was.
I don't have any gold to leave. I apologize. So you're gonna have
So
to.
You gave every piece of gold you have.
I'm not saying it was wise, but that is what happened.
And the baubles?
well, only one
Hang on.
functioning bubble.
Listen, we couldn't have used those anyway. To our credit, we could not have used those anyway. We could not have used them anyway. Am I wrong? I'm sorry. You're right. Yeah, it was all my goat. So you're gonna. I don't know.
I'm gonna throw another 5 down for Safira.
Thank you, Erland. That's nice.
I'll do 10.
Should we?
Damn.
Should we leave a note? Do we have like
That was an
a
Orba
name?
saying
25 total.
She just gave away 300. Me giving away 10
No,
is not
I
crazy.
was not.
You're
I
like that
didn't
guy.
say
You're like
anything.
that guy at a restaurant. We all tip 15%, and you're like 25.
Where are we putting it?
Just in a
stack
stack by the
here.
entryway. Just like
A
right at
stack
the
by
entryway. I'm gonna stack.
Maybe a little more discreet, just in case other people.
No, like you said, there's like
Well, but if
moss
it's
and
too
shit. It's fine,
discreet,
right?
then he's not
Some
gonna know.
obscuring brush and
Then
reeds and things.
Take the note, fold it up in such a way that maybe someone won't see the glint of gold in here, and tuck it into the sheet.
Should we not say something on the note? Should I say something to it?
Thank you.
Okay. All right. I'm gonna
Mo.
fold. I'm gonna fold it and say, thank you, Mo.
Is there any chance it's Mohan Fowler?
Thank you, Mo.
Does he moonlight as a hunter?
Mohan Fowler, who goes
Fowler.
moonlights as a scaver tracker, going by Mo the Crow. No, you're right. I
Days
think
away
that's
from Navikapura.
infallible logic.
Pretty
You're
big world. Lots of
absolutely
people
right.
named Mo.
Yes, but weird to help us.
Thank you,
People
Mo.
don't normally help us.
For
He probably didn't want it to be disturbed if he's hunting it.
That's true.
Oh, sure.
troubles.
He'd rather have it.
It's so sad that makes more sense to you than somebody just doing a nice thing for us.
We've had a
Too
bit of
many
bad luck
exclamation
recently.
points.
Not David. was
That
nice.
one guy, the capybara,
Troubles.
Yeah.
sure,
Yeah,
it's
the
a
fuzzy-
capybara.
He had a fuzzy butt.
Yes.
Thinking.
Do we have?
Are you still writing it out? Thank you. Just write thank you.
I wrote that part.
That's it.
No, I thought there should be another thing. Do we have like?
Here's a tip.
Just in case.
Yeah.
Sprinkle a little cinnamon on your yogurt for a tasty treat.
Yes. A little honey
No, but I
goes a
thought,
long way.
do we want him to know something that we go by? Because if we run into him again and he was helpful, it's not bad to have a friend in these parts who knows the area.
We don't have a
so,
team name.
I know that's what I'm saying. So maybe we put something here so that we can say we are, I don't know, or we can just sign it off with our individuals, Safira, or we can do our.
S-O-G-E. Our initials.
Okay.
Soj.
Is there not a better way
Please.
to
G-O-S-E.
No, not the different letter combination.
Those?
We don't have to decide this now, but
Just our initials.
No,
is
we
what I
do.
mean.
We have
no,
to
just
decide
our,
it now.
Just our initials. G and O and S and E. Commas, Safira.
Ghost
Commas.
or so?
Just doesn't matter. Please just sign them out.
Should we arrange it by height?
Oh my goodness.
What would that be?
G
G
O
O
O
S E.
S E.
Show me your character sheet right fucking now.
Goes. Okay.
I think that'll be more confusing than anything.
Oh my god.
Where did
What about just say the idiots from last night?
Idiots from last night is better.
Perfect way to have it.
T-I.
Goes dash the idiots.
No, not an acronym. We're just the idiots from
last
last night.
night.
Oh.
This is
Well, obviously, it's not an acronym It's not directly an acronym of the thing I'm saying, but you understand what I'm saying.
Should we go meet
The
Pockets
idiots
now?
from last night. It's perfect. It gives him almost no information, but it does give him gold.
Great.
Little
Done it.
wrapped stack of gold there, just inside, sort of in a little cylinder, just inside the entrance of the den.
Unbelievable. You guys.
I'm sorry, I'm nervous
Now
to
we're
meet this guy.
ghosts.
Are we not nervous? Are we not
might
worried
not
about
meet
this?
him.
The meeting with him is not.
I know, but I'm nervous about it. I'm a
Wait,
bit
Pockets or
concerned.
no?
Don't be.
No, I don't know if we're ever gonna meet Mo the Crow again. I mean Pockets.
Well, that's tomorrow.
I'm hoping that does come to pass because
Meeting with Pockets is going to be the best part of the next 3 days.
Before we do anything, let's make a decision. Are we going to try and get into the Molifair boat?
okay, so here's the thing. Can we do it afterwards?
No.
Why?
I wouldn't
Why
count
not?
on it.
It's on the opposite coast, and we also don't know if we're going to be running.
I know, but it's ridiculous to do it before, and it might be ridiculous to do it afterwards, but at least it's less ridiculous.
I don't think there's going to be a chance. I think we're going to be escaping along the.
The information that's on that boat, I'm sure, would be right useful to me. I'm not entirely convinced there would be anything even approaching as much information as I'd probably get from that ship, but I think it's insanely imprudent to go and do that kind of a situation when we're, I don't know, as adequately prepared as we may be. We don't know what Pockets is going to be bringing us,
I
so...
think we could very simply scout it, and not the way that we have scouted in the past, where we have immediately engaged. We could truly scout the area.
Sure.
That might already be populated with people trying.
True. Oh yeah, that's
Well,
true.
we have a bit of a tip,
Exactly.
but I don't know how much of an edge that really gives us.
Also, I wouldn't
Quite a
prepare
bit, I would
yourself
say.
for combat. Remember sea hags? They'd want something.
I know, but that's the other thing. What do we... If we're gonna do this, we'd have to decide as a group on something that we're willing to give up.
I like my stuff.
I
So-
like my stuff too.
What's their thing? The thing you most desire they take?
They want to take something that they know is valuable to you.
Yeah, it's not necessarily, Graven probably knows the most about it. It's not necessarily the thing you most desire. They like to take stuff that they can tell you want.
Well, those-
they have a knack for being able to discern sort of what you don't want to give. If you're, you can trick them with, if you're clever, but
I love this piece of shit!
but it's difficult, and they like to do that, and they like to make kind of sketchy bargains or bargains in their favor where, I'll give you a little curse and give you this gold, so they like to be tricky about their,
I'll say this.
I don't know, is that even an option? Can
Most
we
of
not
my
magically-
abilities are for not things like sea hags. It's
No,
for
sure, I know.
humans
Although
and the
you
like.
can't...
Humanoids. I don't know.
Now, I'll say this.
Okay.
What you were trying to get at, I think, is that yes, it makes bargains, and it can tell when you are truly attached to something.
Well, that
But
I'm concerned about.
didn't we already say that we're going to try to find a spot, perhaps somewhere up here, that we are burying items that we don't want to take with us into the forest?
Yes.
Depends how.
At least we know we can't take...
We probably don't want to take the lead-lined bag. We don't want to take what you've got,
No.
right? So we are already thinking about leaving some things behind. We could find a spot for that.
But wouldn't we want to bury that tomorrow once we're much closer to the isthmus?
They are not far from each other, from my understanding.
few hours of travel.
Few hours. We're not getting to the corner of the isthmus and digging a hole right there.
No, that would be
Well,
not
then that goes back
wise.
to Safira's plan. Why wouldn't we do it afterwards then if we have to go back anyways?
Hey! That's a good point.
I think your first instinct was right, is that when we leave the Shade Assembly, however that happens, we don't know what that looks like. Is that a
We don't
ship
know if
to
we're
some
gonna
other
be
part of the country?
chased.
But then we're going
Or
to be leaving
chased.
our most valuable things behind?
I only wanted to bury the egg because,
Because we can't reasonably take that into the Shade Assembly.
well, that and we wouldn't necessarily have to go back and pick it up. You could tell your man, what's his name? I'm blanking. Lieutenant
Alhazard?
Colonel
Oh,
Massive.
Massive? Oh,
You could
yeah,
just
I
tell
could
him
tell
where to
Massive to
find
come
it.
and find it, I
Yeah.
suppose.
Whereas like
Travel to the end of the earth and
For-
I
for
For
suppose.
something
Yeah.
that
Or
important?
send,
yes.
or send someone
Yeah.
to do it, or
Sure,
something.
I guess.
I mean, look, there
that
are
was the only reason why I
options to get it to
suggested
him, yes. So
but the spores, I think we should.
All right.
look,
I'd be most worried about them taking the hag taking Grimari's giant grimoire, or the page.
We have
Well, then-
so
Obviously,
like-
you care about that the
It
most.
sounds like we're
Well, I
not
care
willing
about
to give
that
up
too.
items. We're either going in there looking for a fight or we're not doing it.
I think you're right. And then, as far as, do I know sea hags well enough to know what combat with one would look like?
It would vary a lot. I mean, they usually can, if they have a sort of lair established, they usually control some of the creatures in the surrounding area, like sea creatures of various kinds can come to their aid. They usually have some limited spellcasting abilities, ways to frighten you, sort of horrific visages.
I think a fight.
And their bargains aren't always material also. They aren't necessarily like, I want your most valuable item. Like sometimes they want secrets. Sometimes they like they're unpredictable. Sometimes they want to get inside your mind. Like they're a little unpredictable and it isn't necessarily like a physical bargain.
Jordan wants to do this so bad.
I
but
know.
It's such a bad idea.
It's no. We have one. Erland says. We have one. We still have a rest before we meet Pockets. Yes, so we could expend a good amount of energy today and still be well rested, full of magical energy and.
Let's go scout it.
Okay.
I desperately want to
Truly
find out what's on that boat, but we have to be aware that if we go into this fight and we're using maybe the last of our resources if we do decide to do this, and we are about to go into a scarier fight.
I don't
I
want to
mean,
frame it as a fight.
We might not be
With the
fighting this creature,
chimera?
right?
Oh, I thought you were
I'm
talking about the
saying
hag still.
no. I'm saying after we fight the hag, if we do go in, which we might have, we have to assume it's a possibility that we get into combat. We have to be prepared for that, otherwise we shouldn't go.
Correct.
If we do go in, it's possible we go into the fight with a chimera without the resources that we might need, which might be, and I would like to think this isn't the case, but more than one healing potion.
We're moving as we're talking, right?
You can,
Yeah,
you can be walking along the river. Yep.
I agree. We are nearly out of supplies at this point.
Well, Pockets is
As it
hopefully going
is.
to give us something of use.
Did you get like a confirmation from him? Did he? speak
You
about
didn't
it?
get through to Pock, or you did
So
a while
the first
ago.
Yeah,
time
the
I
first
did.
time.
Yeah.
Yes.
And
I mean, he
and
said
you
he was
spoke
coming,
to Cliff,
yeah.
and you spoke to Cliff as well.
He didn't.
Using his enemy.
He didn't confirm every.
But he was like, "Oh yeah, I'll try to get some." I don't know what Pockets sounds like, but like,
like
yeah,
that.
I'll try to bring some stuff.
What?
Yes.
Okay.
Those words. Yes.
Okay.
Well, not exactly.
Okay.
And I believe, if I'm remembering, you told Cliff to get stuff to Pockets.
Yeah, that
too.
Pockets would be an envoy.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Got
so,
it.
Yeah.
Okay.
And yes, he's coming with whatever, not only what he could gather, but whatever Cliff is sending for us.
All right.
Cliff knows we're going here?
No.
Then how is he getting us things?
This is.
I phrased it as to sound like materials that would help us get home safely.
Oh,
Ah, right.
good.
Yes. So just a little bit of a
As
line.
long as you don't die, I think we're fine.
I don't know about that, but I do think it's good if none of us die. That would be ideal. That's the situation.
Or if we get
I'm
him
in.
some stuff from the Malafair boat, that would be information and helpful to him because he's involved with them. Maybe that we would
Oh,
like.
I
He would
suppose
not be
that's
as
true.
mad at
Look,
me.
there is information on that boat that's going to be valuable
Okay.
to all of us in different ways. I am
go.
sure of it.
Let's
Is-
just do it.
Whether or not
Oh
we're going
my
to
God.
survive is a different issue, and that is the most important thing.
Is Fred ready to go again?
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Would you like to perhaps gain some advantage from Fred today?
Well, let me see for a sec. So,
How did that
just
go
a
yesterday?
reminder,
Fred being used by us won't inhibit keeping the plants alive that's like poked into it. Or should I utilize Fred to keep those to like guarantee that those plants stay alive?
So far, the plants are seem to be healthy. If they over time, they might start to kind of wilt, and maybe you need to use Fred's energy to invigorate the plants.
Okay.
Right now, that's not the case. They're just sort of thriving in the soil that you provide.
Cool.
And I think you said if
If
we
it,
were to do
like-
that bad roll, and
I
it
might
got
have to
completely turned
zap
off.
Yes.
Then
the plants
maybe.
might start to
I
decay.
might have to give him a zap.
But Erland would be able
Oh,
to
that you could zap it.
give it a jump.
1 6.
I'd like to be at 0 sepsis before we go to the Shade Assembly, but
What do you
not 2.
Oh, okay. It's not like you'll be using sepsis today.
No.
But yeah,
Wake up.
He seems very much.
who hasn't used Fred yet? I haven't.
Go ahead.
No, you don't try it, please.
I'll be selfish.
Yeah, no,
You
do
can't
it.
see me, but Orba does that. Big ol' wink.
Why are you winking at the Goliath?
Nothing.
She's winking at you.
I told her to be more selfish.
I'm kind of trying to, under my vest, she passed him a note. They're doing it.
Which benefit would you like?
I want inspiration.
Fucking
Give me that inspiration.
You get
Do I get a
inspiration from.
Give me something.
Give me some.
I want a reward.
Ah! Yay.
Inspiration from your plants.
This is the first time I've ever had
Wow.
inspiration.
Are you fucking kidding me?
Yeah.
No, it's not.
There
Oh,
has
yeah,
a
because
matter
you
with
denied
There
it.
hasn't been that many times, and with the time that everyone got it, she did not.
denied it.
And you didn't touch a dumb ghost. And
It's great. When you roll a 1, you get to automatically roll a 2 next.
It is great.
Yay.
Oh yeah, roll for Fred.
Oh shit,
Yep,
yeah,
you
roll
gotta
for
roll
that.
for Fred. Once you go ahead and read it quickly.
Oh,
So
okay.
now-
After using the Miuhurku, roll a d6. On a roll of 1, the plane is deactivated, and I can't gain benefits until it's rebooped. 2. Oh, I love
Fred
it.
remains.
Fred's like, oh, that was close.
almost blew it out.
All right, let's go.
All right. You guys continue down the path. For maybe 30 to 40-ish minutes, you hike through a region that feels particularly uncharted, even for a part of the continent that was already very removed from civilization. Since leaving the village and since rising this morning, you've had no more traces of crumbling structures, bandit markings on trees, forgotten hovels. It's just wilderness in a purer form, which to some degree you anticipated, after hearing rumors of the Shade Assembly's efforts to dissuade settlers from happening upon their shores. The birds are boisterous, a cacophony of chirping and cawing in all directions. And the tree-dwelling types of creatures are very inquisitive. Sort of, you see creatures peeking out from beneath the foliage and then covering themselves up. Various sort of curiosity reigning here in the woods. You soldier on, single file by the bank of the river. And you can tell you're getting closer to the ocean when the ground starts to soften a bit beneath your feet, and the river starts to split into multiple shallower, snaking streams, a muddy estuary that will soon bring a clash between the fresh water of the river and the salty water of the ocean. And the conditions here aren't exactly swamp-like, but it's close enough for some of the typical swamp-favoring creatures to have clustered here. You see a couple crocodiles. You see a coiled cottonmouth viper swirling by the side of the river. And even a shoebill wading into the shallows.
No.
And at one point sort of
Yes.
snaps into the water and comes up with a small fish.
So
Oh, but I don't see you, but don't get close to that. It's handsome, but it's gonna fuck you up.
That's what kill you.
Wading there in the river, just hoping that more fish kind of pass by in little schools so it can lap one up. In addition to the animal species, you think you spot a pack of bullywugs hopping from bank to bank.
What is that?
Frog-like humanoids that
What?
form little communities with strict hierarchies.
Stop.
Humanoids.
What
They're
do they look
intelligent.
like?
They're almost lizard folk-esque in that they're definitely intelligent creatures, but not to the extent of some of the classic, some of the classic tiefling human.
good lord.
They form little communities. They have sort of a social hierarchy, but they mostly sort of just live in small sort of.
How
wilderness.
big are they?
Hey, how big are they?
Slightly smaller than your average humanoid, like 4 to 5 feet
Well,
tall.
man, so they're
Oh,
more
fuck,
human
you're
than
pretty
frog
big.
size.
Bigger than a house.
Bigger than
Oh,
Spud.
oh yes, definitely, yeah.
So we just see them like kind of mostly ignoring us, or
Yeah, so they're kind of dispersed throughout this sort of muddy, swampy area. And it's commonplace for bullywugs of a lower station to collect baubles and trinkets to present to their superiors. They have that kind of system where they go out, they find little trinkets, and they bring it back to whoever is their kind of leader or superior bullywug. The shinier and the more lavish the trinket, the better it is, the better an offering it is to their superiors. And indeed, one of them looks to be maybe perhaps the lowest ranking one, who's sort of in the back, carrying kind of a bulging sack that the rest of them are kind of hopping. And they leap effortlessly from bank to bank. I mean, they can hop 20 plus feet in a single bound. Sort of, and they sort of stop and look around. And it looks like they're kind of looking in the muck and the dirt and things, sort of skittering throughout the swampy area here. Perception checks for everybody there.
Do we know if the stuff that they gather is like worth a lot?
It could be. They are also known to just gather things that are pretty and shiny. Like it could be garbage, but it also could be valuable.
17.
Ooh.
13.
Natural 20.
11.
Ooh.
So Erland and Graven, who are sort of leading the way in this line, you guys sort of haphazardly, amusedly watch the bullywogs kind of leap from bank to bank of these small streams that are crisscrossing over each other. And at one point, one bullywog that's wearing a necklace that looks to be made of shark teeth, like he has a little kind of ceremonial decorative necklace. He looks up for a moment and he clocks you guys. You watch him sort of make eye contact a little bit. And then he looks back and with a pudgy green finger points to you guys in your direction. And immediately, all of them, one at first and then 4 others following behind, they're approaching you quickly, leaping from bank to bank.
Erland's gonna grab, how many are there roughly?
5. It looks like there's 5.
I'm gonna grab 5 copper and sort of behind us a little bit.
Okay.
Do I know them as being? They're not.
Confrontational?
Confrontational. Thank you.
They can be. They are pretty keenly aware of relative strength. Like they're not gonna just they'll defend themselves, but they're not gonna outright attack something that looks obviously dangerous to them.
Okay.
Like they would rather use sort of surprise tactics. They're not gonna sort of full-on frontal confront, ambush someone.
And do I know what they speak?
They speak their own language. They speak bullywug.
Oh.
So they're moving towards you very quickly. They're still probably 100 feet off or so.
toss them?
Erland tosses the.
There you go, friends! And we're gonna keep moving, keep moving.
What?
Just keep moving.
Does anybody speak bullywug? I think they're gonna get to us.
But maybe they'll just take the copper. Thank you! There you go!
Do they seem like they're going
They
towards?
do not move motion towards the copper at all.
They're going to approach us.
Shit.
They get closer. They're getting closer and closer.
Hands tight on my bag, at least.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
I'll
I've
just-
got my hand. I've got my hand kind of on my bow.
Okay.
I left shiny things are right there for you.
Just drawing
You have to be
myself
shouting
up.
pretty loud.
Shiny things right there.
They don't make a motion toward the coins or anything. Another leap across another bank. Now they're probably just 2 streams away from you, getting
What's
closer
happening? What do
quickly.
these things want? What do we do?
Oh,
I just stay calm. I don't think they're gonna be stupid, do you?
Hopping from bank to bank, and finally, the one with the shark teeth is the first one across. And he jumps and jumps right in front of where you guys were walking. So he bars the way a
I'll
little
be
bit.
out front.
I'm
No.
gonna hold up a copper.
I'm gonna point where I throw it.
And he has like a little rudimentary spear in his hand and some sort of crude leather kind of shoulder pads a little bit. And he holds the spear with 2 hands.
As soon as he does that, I knock the bell.
Can
as soon
I-
as he does
Wait,
it.
wait.
Safira, put the bow.
I'm just-
Safira, put
I
the
have
bow away.
one
I'm speaking
green
his
crystal
language. This is
left.
what he was doing.
Okay.
Left. And I'm gonna take the green crystal out.
And that's where we're gonna take a break.
Oh, wait!
Excellent frog noises, by the way. Very nice.
We're gonna take a break. We're gonna figure out maybe what the balloon. So after he hopped to that bank, he was there first, and then immediately, the other ones
man,
kind of
I'm
hop
like-
behind him, and they're all making a little
Five.
formation. Yeah, there's the 4 others. There's the one with the shark teeth, 3 others, and then the one with the sack is in the back that has a
So
little.
cute.
Oh, I know I like him.
I know, nothing.
I was gonna say, everybody concentrate on the small one in the bag and massacre him so they know we mean business.
Oh, the small one.
Leave him alone.
All right, everybody, we're gonna take a quick break. We'll come back and see what the bullywogs have in store for us. For those of you who haven't already looked up pictures of bullywogs,
They're so cute. Damn it, I want to see
They're
it.
so cute.
Pull it up.
Okay.
Bring it up.
Yes.
There's more puzzles as always.
enjoy our puzzles,
Yeah.
break videos,
Enjoy,
get those
yeah.
mimics in, get those
Get
owlbears
those owlbear
in.
bets going.
He's even got a spear.
Oh, no.
They're so cute. And then the way he's holding the spear.
And he's got the necklace.
Is there
looks
one
so
at the top
serious.
having the cane doing fan kicks?
There is not.
Hello, my.
It looks like the from Chrono Trigger. I can't remember his name.
Oh yeah, the
Yeah.
companion that you can have. Yeah.
He's got a sword though.
Very cute.
All right, everybody,
Okay.
enjoy the puzzles. We'll be right back. We'll pick it up there when we get back.
Oh, yeah, that's me. I do that part. All right, see you, baby.
Spud appreciates, likes, and subscribes. Spud also reads all the comments. Makes Spud feel less lonely. come play a game with Spud, please?
Welcome back, everyone. We hope you enjoyed the puzzles. We hope you enjoyed the race. We hope you enjoyed the mimics.
Who won in the race?
I won the owlbear one.
Oh, he did. He got in first place.
Well,
I lost the mimic thing. I chose 3.
Definitely. Yeah, mimic stuff. There's no placements in mimic. You win or you lose.
Come on.
All right.
either mimic
I guess
or
you
don't
get eaten or you get gold.
Yep.
Yes.
And we hope you enjoyed Anagrammy Athmar's
Oh, so
saucy.
naughty.
What was the
So
first one?
Tender Pale Nuts.
Tender pale nuts. man.
Naughty anagram.
I like the people that don't see the puzzle and then just hear us reiterating her
Yes.
horrible
Yeah, that's
phrases.
true. We
Oh,
upload
yeah.
the video later. Yeah.
Watch live.
Yeah.
Lesson learned.
I love
If
when
you
I
want
type into
some
that.
Tender pale nuts.
Yeah,
watch
if you
the
want to
show
see some
live.
tender pale nuts.
When I type in that anagram solver and Tender Pale Nuts came up, I was like,
You're like,
oh,
oh, I'm keeping
I
it.
thought you did it yourself.
Oh, come on.
Oh.
no way.
What?
I do it word by word. Which,
I was like, Matt, it's really impressive that you're coming
oh my
out
God, that
with
would take
these.
so much time.
There's this thing called computers.
It didn't come up Tender Pale Nuts. I
Wait,
had
there
to piece it word
is?
by word, but still, I did not.
Pale
manually.
tender nuts.
It didn't suggest tender pale nuts right away.
No.
right,
I
let's
saw
not talk about
nuts, and I was like,
You're like,
God,
this
you
get
can.
better.
That's the thing. I was like, let me
This
take
get
nuts
better.
out and see what else I can get with nuts.
really?
Yeah, that's what I do to if I see a word that's funny. I take that out.
That is too much. Are you fucking kidding?
That makes
Stop.
sense. An artist.
Really tracks. Really tracks for you. Hey,
AI,
Alright.
AI will never take over.
They,
Good. We've got some people to thank. Halfbaked139 subscribed and then also gave out a community sub. Thank you so much. Bronze Pride resubscribed. Ali Slayer did 100 bits. Jay Brownie did 500 bits. Ali Slayer did
Yay.
another 100 bits. Ali Slayer gifted a sub and then another
Oh my
sub.
goodness.
Ali Slayer's off the charts.
thank you guys. Thank you.
Thank you for
Get a
all
schedule.
the tender pale
Aw.
nuts and claiming sluts.
Skittles? Oh, shit. Looks so identical to the M&Ms. What a dangerous
At least
thing.
I caught that one.
Small. Shut up.
We return to this kind of loose kind of mire swamp, where a small grouping of bullywugs have happened upon the party. Spears sort of up, not sort of in a menacing like attack formation, but certainly in a defensive kind of way. Safira's drawn her bow, and immediately with the bow being drawn, you can see they're a little kind of on edge. just a little-
Down.
Real quick, they
It's
came
down.
from across the river.
Mhm.
We're traveling along the
You're
river.
traveling downriver. Yep.
So they kind of came from perpendicular
Yeah,
to us.
they were like off to the left a ways,
Okay.
and they kind of hopped their way, and now the whole group is in front of you, like in the same direction you were heading.
Oh,
There's
okay.
no one behind you, but they're all kind of in
But the
front of you.
direction we were going is they were right there.
Yeah, they blocked the way that you were headed. So with one kind of spear up, he looks at the crystal that Orba is kind of holding.
Having put down the bow, I'm gesturing now to the crystal.
Holding the bag, Orba's gonna say, you take this and we go away.
Oh, boy.
We'll scatter. You take this and we scatter.
There's one more kind of sweep back and forth with the spear, and then he tilts it upward. And he motions to the back, and the one with the sack comes forward.
Okay.
I want to, with my
Yeah,
height,
yeah, same.
I want to try to get as good of a
Yeah, I
look as I
wanna
He
can.
opens it and sticks his hand in. Give me a perception check. It's going to
Okay.
be really hard to see if there's anything else. in
Nat
the
20,
bag.
baby.
Oh no.
11.
Yeah, very difficult to see. He quickly reaches a little hand in and pulls out a fistful of what looks like broken glass of various colors. And he kind of holds it up, and with the light pouring through the trees, it kind of glitters a little bit.
Oh, no, better.
Oh, it's an
Better
exchange.
trade. It's an exchange.
Oh.
Oh, why do we? I feel like a right
Just
ass.
let it
now.
happen.
Well, I feel stupid.
Sure.
And the one with the necklace or.
Better trade. Ask for something better. Ask for
What do you
something
mean?
better.
How would she do that?
Motions again. Guy sticks his hand in the sack once more.
Try to look again. Worse. Worse. 6.
Damn it.
This time, he quickly takes out what looks like a bottle. And there's some liquid in it.
Okay.
And the elongated shape with a narrow neck at the top looks like a wine bottle.
Oh.
And it's still intact.
It looks like it hasn't been opened.
Looks like it hasn't been opened.
Can we tell the brand make of it?
Give me a perception check.
Oh my god, they've been in the boat!
I'm not gonna know though. 5.
He looks like he has his hand on the label, so very difficult to tell.
Show it. Show bottle.
He holds it.
Did he move his hand at all?
It's still holding it in the same spot.
Release your hand.
I'm motioning him to turn it.
Spin the bottle.
Make a performance check.
All.
Yeah, sure, both of you.
Oh my god.
Oh, here we go.
10.
I think it's a dirty 20. Dirty 20.
20. He looks at Safira's sort of hand motions, and he puts his other hand on the bottom of it, and puts one hand on the front, and turns it. And as the label faces towards you, the Mullifer S in cursive writing sort of appears on the side of it there.
Oh.
Do we want the Mullifer S bottle?
Yes,
It could be interesting.
That's fine. That crystal's not worth that much, is it?
We could
Do
also
we
trade for
want-
more things.
Yes, we should also do that. Yes.
Ah.
Yes. I feel like such a right ass.
And as soon as he has the crystal,
We'll look at it later. We'll investigate it later.
Okay.
as there's been kind of a agreement established, the spears go down, and they start to kind of walk around, and they're looking at like your bag, they're
Okay,
looking at
yeah,
your stuff. You see
okay.
them kind of.
Oh goodness, this is so cute.
Okay, what else we got, guys?
I'm gonna.
One of them goes around behind Graven, and he touches your shield.
Oh shit.
Can do they sense magical items that I know of? Like,
There might be some that can, but
Yeah.
not like, naturally.
okay. I won't unless if he's just being gentle.
Yeah,
I'll
he
let
doesn't
him
like grab
yeah,
it or
yeah,
anything,
okay.
but he looks at it.
Yeah.
He even kind of turns it toward the sun a little bit,
Yeah.
and the glint off the shield.
I'll reach into my bag. I'll reach into my bag though, and take out the vial of Erland's arm cheese, and I'll kind of give it let it hit the light and hold it out like that.
Give me a deception check
Oh.
with disadvantage. It doesn't like glint or shine. It doesn't have any
Yeah.
kind of. It doesn't look like a. Unless you were. They don't look like they're looking for natural things. They look like they're looking for.
Deception with disadvantage.
Yeah.
11.
11. He shakes his head and to your shield again. And he motions to the guy with the sack. And the guy with the sack comes over, he reaches in, pulls out a metal helmet with like yellow plumage. And he motions, he goes to like kind of put it on his head, but it doesn't fit. It's not the right shape.
Aw.
Does it look big enough to fit me?
Yeah, it does.
Can
Is the
Orba?
plumage?
Okay.
Sorry, is it of the Mullifer colors? The plumage?
It's just like yellow. It has like a almost like Roman like front to back plumage.
Oh, okay,
Yellow,
I see, I
yellow.
see.
Yeah, it's not like an insignia of any kind. It's just yellow plumage.
Under my breath, do we want this entire bag?
No, there could be hundreds of them.
Okay.
He means kill them.
Oh.
No.
Can I take my dagger off my belt
Not worth it.
and not hold it non-threateningly and like hold it out for them to look
Is there
at?
anything special about that?
No, it's just a
sort of
rudimentary dagger.
The key.
I want to.
The Micah Denholm's hilt.
I'm gonna take out the sword hilt from Micah Denholm's. Shit. Doesn't that have some?
Yeah, it had
jewels or something?
like jewels and stuff on it and stuff.
Did it have jewels in it?
I thought it was like an ornate handle.
I did think it was like an ornate.
Ornate's
but
different than
not
jewel
jewel.
encrusted.
I don't know about jewel.
Yeah, it might just have like.
In that case, I'll also take out, along with that, the 2 pearls. that I found.
Okay.
I found 2 pearls.
Yeah, she had a couple
I don't
pearls.
even remember when. I
think
found
those.
2
I
pearls.
vaguely.
Yeah.
What city was McDonough in again?
That was Mukmu.
Yeah, it was in Mukmu.
All right, well, you're doing that.
While she's fiddling, I'm gonna. What about the talisman I took from the pledge mage? Do we carry that?
Yes.
As Safira's holding out those items, reaches into the sack, and he pulls out 2 items. One of them is a small jewelry box that has like a broken hinge. It looks like it's sustained a little bit of damage. And the other one is a kind of silk scarf with frayed edges.
What do I say if
Can I motion?
Inside, yes.
He tips it upside down, and the hinge kind of falls free. There's nothing inside it.
God damn it.
He shakes it, and it makes like a little jingling noise.
Not good enough.
Sorry. What do I do?
You see if he has another offer.
Anything else, mate? Anything else? I'm kind of motioning to the pearls, like, oh.
Reaches back into the satchel, and there's a little jingling, and he takes out a little keychain with 4 silver keys on it that are kind of badly tarnished.
Yes.
For one, yeah. One.
Are the pearls that valuable to just give him one?
Yes, pearls are very valuable.
I'm handing him a pearl, or does he not want? He wants both. I don't think that's gonna work.
All right.
He also
Oh,
points
okay.
out the sword hilt. that you
Okay,
have.
sure.
Well, can
Oh.
She had her sword hilt from Lincoln home.
Oh, I see.
I don't
the
think
2
we're gonna
pearls.
I thought you meant your special sword
no.
hilt for a
pointing
second.
while she does it. Those keys, did you find? And she'll point towards the water, like out there. Do it.
I'm gonna hand him the things
That
kind of
4
knowingly.
keychain of 4
I got
silver
the
keys, takes
guys
the
were
2
doing the
pearls
fuzzy
and the
hag
sword
now.
hilt, sort of jams it into the satchel there.
Did we take the wine?
Yes,
you did take
Oh,
the
okay.
wine. Again, one of the bullywugs goes over to Graven. The shield. I mean, it looks nice.
I know. I need this shield.
Reaches in,
Oh God.
and he pulls out a little rook, sort of smudged
Oh
with dirt,
my god!
and a little dirt clod
What
on top
business
of
do
it
they
that
have?
might be
Oh,
obscuring.
I'll give him one of these where I go.
He looks at it like he didn't consider that before.
Oh no. Oh no.
Oh shit.
And he's like turning it over in his little hand.
And
And then he looks around.
Erland's gonna.
Oh man, what an idiot.
Erland's
I
gonna.
need that shield. I need my
Yeah.
Erland's gonna pull out the earring of the Forked Tongue Monastery. I believe it's gold.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm gonna point at the thing you just pointing at the fact that he just held out the rook, which is also gold, right?
He reaches back in and pulls it back out. And he holds it up a little bit, and that emerald catches the light and glows green.
No, goodness.
Have
He
I?
reaches and he pulls out a couple other items, sort of perusal.
Okay.
Oh, okay. What do you got?
There's like a series of painted nesting dolls. He like opens one and there's another smaller one inside. Like it's painted, like it has a little face on it. And he like opens each one. So there's like 6 sort of smaller and smaller nesting dolls.
Does he get to the bottom of all the way to the smalls?
Yeah, because
Okay.
there's nothing inside the smalls.
It's a diamond.
And he's like,
yeah. Speaking of, actually, real quick.
Yes.
My little bag of diamonds that I got.
Mhm.
How could I tell if I were to take how much of that I would need to cast Revivify?
Did I give you a value of that?
I don't think so.
And where was that found?
Was that
was
at
in
the
mountains.
temple?
Oh, was it? No.
It wasn't.
It wasn't.
I think it might have been the Heptactor temple.
It was,
Right?
I think. Yeah.
Because we didn't have diamonds for a while when you had
It was
Revivify.
Heptactor.
That's
I'm
right.
pretty
It
sure.
was.
right.
It looks like I can find it there.
Because Revivify needs.
What, 300 gold?
It was at the bandit stash, actually.
Oh, okay.
That's it.
It was approximately 350 in value. So you could give away a small
So-
cluster that would be about 50 golds worth. I mean, that's not much.
It's not much, but it's diamonds, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I will. If Erland's still got his
The earring.
earring out, I'll try to very specifically only take 50 worth and like obscuring so that it looks like it's
You
on
have
the
one
hand.
kind of
Yeah.
behind you who was looking at your shield.
Yeah.
Brave.
And
This is enough, so we still have enough diamonds to revive.
exactly. And
And he holds out the nesting dolls.
no.
He holds the nesting dolls and he reaches into the bag and he takes out a cracked bottle that has a shimmering red liquid inside.
Looks like a healing potion.
Maybe. Looks a little thicker than a regular healing potion. Like it has a little extra kind of glow to it. Sort of looks to all his other bullywugs and they all kind of...
The potion, I think.
Wait. Has my tattoo been showing like any signs of wear or anything? As my magical focus?
Ever so slightly, a little bit of fade to it.
And it's been like 2 weeks?
Yeah, that sounds about right. Wait, after Butez gave you the tattoo? Yeah.
Because I still
Maybe a little
have
bit longer than that.
my crystal, my like original
Your spellcasting
spellcasting
focus.
crystal.
Yeah.
Careful.
What?
Just saying.
It's a spellcasting focus. It's more like a glass than a true gemstone.
Right.
It still like looks pretty, but it doesn't like
Have that-
sparkle the way a real gemstone does. That doesn't mean it's not appealing, but it certainly doesn't look like diamonds or something like that.
Okay. What
It's
about
more like glass.
what about my peridot gemstone? Is that
That is
pretty
a
looking?
gemstone. Yeah, Paradox pretty.
I'll if I see them wavering, at this, I'm just gonna point to the diamonds and to the potion.
It might be worse.
Snow.
We have enough to bring
Sweeten-
someone back with
bring-
the rest.
bring-
Yes, we will.
Okay, then I think we could use all the help we can get right now.
Sprinkles them into the little bag that they have.
Do you have
there.
something to sweeten the deal on this?
take out the peridot gemstone?
Put it
150 gold.
pass it to me, and I'm gonna put it on top of the snake's head, like the rook.
Holds up the nesting dolls.
No!
The rook
No!
looks the same.
Come on, my guy.
See, looks the same. I'm gonna kind of like hold it together so like it looks like the snake has a little
Give me a
green
persuasion
hat.
check.
Come on, buddy.
16.
Oh, shit!
Oh!
Damn it!
Why did I have him?
I
peed
don't
off?
know!
I'm a fucking moron.
And then Erland's gonna shrug his hands, give it back, put it away.
For a moment there, they as they were taking things out, they put kind of down on the ground in a couple spots some of the items that they were willing to present. So again, kind of in front of you on the ground are a metal helmet with some yellow plumage. You already took the wine bottle. That jewelry box. There was a silk scarf. The keychain you already took. They don't put out the golden rook, the nesting dolls, and you
Silk
took the
scarf
cracked
doesn't
bottle.
look magical in any way, does it?
You wouldn't be able to tell that just by looking at it. You need to detect it somehow. You wouldn't be able to tell.
What?
Do we have 10 minutes here? We can
Oh,
procrastinate, I guess. And
10 minutes while he's casting something? I think.
No.
I don't
Might
know
look suspicious.
what we have, but Graven, do you not want the I'm not saying you should give up the shield
cannot
for it.
give up my shield.
No, I'm not saying you should, but should we try to negotiate something else?
Do you
for
want the
helmet?
I have the whole. I'm sure it would be nice. What do you have for that?
I
gemstone, I
have
have
an
a-
ivory drinking horn as well.
I also have a horn.
Well, do
What
you-
like a sound horn?
Yeah, not a. That one's like a
Well,
ornate
try that.
one.
Do you want me to try that for the helmet?
Sure.
I think that's the most useful thing, right? I mean,
Yeah.
unless anything's magical, you
Give it
don't
a
see
shot.
anything there, do you? Okay. I'm gonna kind of motion to the helmet,
Right.
and I'm gonna take the ivory.
Right.
Ooh.
Okay.
Thank you. Okay. Try it on.
Does it fit?
Yeah, if it's a little snug, but it definitely fits.
Do I have
It has like a kind of, it has like a Roman like front to back like yellow plumage.
If I ripped that off, would it still give the same advantage?
I mean, you don't know what it. I mean, they
Okay.
would function as a helmet. Yeah,
right,
that's
okay.
not-
Does it give you an
Okay.
extra AC or no?
No, it does not.
Oh.
Helmet does not give extra AC. It's part of armor. It would need to have a magical effect for it to give
But
additional bonus.
who says? I mean, if I.
You don't know.
I know
You don't
exactly,
know if it's
yeah.
magical. You haven't yet done any.
All right.
I think we might have gotten everything.
I have the like ornately carved small ivory faces from that craftsman for the rook.
Fuck that one up hard.
I'll hold my hands in the air like I got nothing.
Give him like a little bow.
Yeah, I'll
All
kind of
them
do the
kind
same.
Cluster.
Yeah.
They gather their things back up. He takes the nesting dolls.
No thanks.
Do they look like anyone familiar, the nesting dolls?
No. I mean, they're very simply painted. It's
not
it's
like-
just like a dotted face. Like
Grimari,
Oh.
Jillian, Valko.
To the one who's been communicating with us this whole time. Orba. Rat,
Oh,
bro.
yes.
Rat, bro.
Oh.
Rat, bro.
and he hops, and then the other ones bounce and hop, all of them kind of, and they move further, kind of off to your right.
I love them.
I want to kill them for all the things.
I mean, yes.
You guys
might
once
be
again left, kind of.
If we do it quietly, I could cast silence
Oh my god.
and murder them quietly.
Okay,
Yes, have
can
a
I take
moment
out the
here.
thing now?
Yes, they'll take it. Yes.
I take out the wine bottle. It's sealed and everything.
Yes, it looks. The liquid is fully inside. There's no breakage.
And
Looks like the cork's in it.
the label, it's
Dig
ink.
up my Molifer.
It looked like it's like an ink label with cursive writing on it. Says Molifer.
Has it shown any signs of like water damage?
Yeah, the label is a little stained in a couple places. Like it might have had water splashed on it, but
But not like submerged.
hard to tell. But probably not. I mean, it might have been in a case or a case or a crate or something
Oh,
to
okay,
protect
okay.
it. But
We know what this means, right?
They were on the boat.
Yes.
So I think. I mean, we know that there are some creatures that can get on the boat that can negotiate with her. We knew that before. I mean, that was our special tip. So I'm wondering.
Or if they haven't been on the boat, that could have very easily washed ashore in a crash.
I suppose.
Some of these things.
Probably not the chess piece.
Yeah, what
keys,
business do they
chess
have with
pieces.
a fucking chess piece? Fuck's sake.
Well, I tipped.
Yes, we
It looked like a piece of shit until I.
speak on that any further.
Alright.
It's just gold.
Okay, so we think maybe the keys were also from there. We think they definitely got the chess piece from there. The wine probably from there.
Yeah. So
There are still treasures to be found there.
Yeah, I know I was on
And
the
we've
fence
got
about
these
it before.
fucking
but the-
keys now,
Could be
which,
very
by the way,
useful.
and you can hear my bag jingling, is I have to keep
You
it.
can distinguish those from the other keys.
I'm keeping it in my hand for that exact reason.
Don't do that.
Well, I don't know what to. Look at the
Then
amount
let
of
me
keys
hold
in my
them.
bag.
Let
him.
someone
Give it
else
to
hold
him.
them.
You take the keys.
Or throw all of those away.
Or
Is
throw
the
them all
easier
away.
thing.
Should I just throw them away?
They keep her on
Yes.
the ground. They like wear her down.
How about how many keys?
there was 4 keys, 4 silver keys.
Silver keys.
Alright, I'm
like a
deleting
tarnished
this
silver.
from my bag so I'm no longer confused.
And I still have enough diamonds to
The
cast
keys I
Revivify.
just gave them.
You said
Gave them about 50 gold.
Okay.
50 gold worth.
So there was diamonds.
Yes.
And the keys are now worth an item.
No, keys are not a slot. They're
Okay. So we're scouting.
Yes.
And what exactly, let's just agree, does that look like? Just
Just
literally
just
sitting
think
out there
scouting.
and watching and not getting too close? Because what we've done before is say that we are scouting
Yeah.
and then get so close
Close.
that we in fact are initiating combat.
In it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, so let's try not to do that
Well,
this
the
time.
good news is it's in the middle of the water. So,
Is that the good news?
well, we have to stay far away from it.
Yes. Okay, so scouting? Really?
Yes.
Yes. Why are you looking at me? I
I
behave.
don't know. Okay, let's go.
Okay.
a few more winding routes. Keep you out of the sludgiest parts of this kind of mini marsh that you're traveling through.
Old Molifer shit.
You start to see the trees giving way to sky. And unlike when you emerged from the sagging caverns and a storm was already brewing over the ocean, this time when you hit the coast, there's not a single cloud to be seen.
Oh, shit.
A marvelous open expanse that shows you the ocean's softer side with its waves rolling in slowly and methodically. When you get beyond the last vestiges of the woods, you glance to your right, and with a kind of group involuntary swelling inhalation, almost like a gasp, you lay eyes on the protruding pseudo-island in the distance to the northeast, connected only to the main continent by a craggy, narrow strip of land. The cape is densely forested, but it's invariably flat. The lack of changes in elevation make it look from afar like almost like a freshly mown lawn. Though with its mysterious reputation, you wouldn't be surprised to see some kind of sinister arcane cloud looming up above it. But it bears no such bad omens. The tufted treetops look soft enough for a giant to lay its head down to rest. Finlock Forest is in your sights. The weight of what that means feels heavy on your chest, and for Graven, even without looking, you're suddenly very aware of every scar running up and down your arms, like the blood is pumping through the hardened tissue instead of your veins. Without saying anything or motioning to stop, the group pauses and stares for a moment. A silent acknowledgement of how far you've come to get here, that has the added benefit of soaking in a little bit of the warm sunlight, now unfiltered by the canopies above. Between here and there, however, is still a little bit of a beachside trek, and for now the weather is fully cooperating with your plans. Such clarity also affords you the first glimpse of what is almost certainly the wreckage of the Mullifair galleon. For probably less than an hour away at a decent pace are two masts jutting askew from shallow, rocky waters. It's behind some boulder formations, so it's hard to make out all of the details without getting a little bit closer, but it looks like at least part of the ship's hull is like tilted and protruding above the surface of the water. So maybe half or more of the ship is submerged, but then some of it is up above the water. The larger majority has either sunk or broken off. It's close to the shore, but the ship isn't exactly beached. If you want to investigate, you're still looking at either scuttling from some rocks to rocks or taking a little swim. Though if you had to pick a day to do it, this would be it. The gentle tides are now nothing like they were when you took the rowboats to Spud's Island. So, you see Finlock Forest far in the distance. That's the first thing that you see out there with this sort of flat tree line. And then you shift your focus, your gaze a little bit, and you see those two masts kind of protruding up out of the water just some distance down the beach.
Fuck me.
Do you feel all right, Goliath?
I feel the weight of things coming, but no. Yes, I feel fine. I think I should... I mean, the island and the Esmiths are like... We can see them, but they're not close.
You can only see them because of how clear it is. They're hours away. I mean, the boat's probably a little less than an hour, and then the island is probably a couple hours. Yeah, I mean, it's because it's slightly downhill and so open, you can just see crystal clear far into the distance.
Well, perhaps part of the scouting is looking in in this area for where we might lay our heads tonight. Before we see pockets tomorrow.
That's fair.
It involves sitting and watching those masts for a long time to see if and when the winds take the masts the wrong way, how long that happens for.
Well, this just turned into quite a long scout here, which is okay. I think that's what we wanted.
We've got all day.
We want to get...
Okay. No, I think we should take our time with this. I'm not saying you're wrong, I'm just saying.
I think we want to get ourselves closer before we start scouting the sails, because once we realize it changes, we want to be able to move fairly quickly.
Oh, I think
we want to watch it change at least once, and then
I see.
just so we have a sense of how long we have to get in.
That's what I'm saying.
Spyglass.
Can I have a look at Finlock Forest first, just to scan it a little bit? But also, I'm assuming we're a little far away to say anything specific. Any since I know something's there and I've heard of magic, any sort of glints or refractions of light that seem unnatural?
Yeah, too far at this point.
Okay.
Really all you can see is the kind of uniform tree line.
Oh, I can't even see
edge.
tides going in or anything like that?
Occasionally, if it's a bigger wave, you might see it kind of crash upon the shore, but
I don't see anything when it crashes on shore, any strangeness in the tides or anything like that.
Nothing at the shore.
It's mostly at sea level, or is it raised a bit?
It's raised a little bit, but it's surprisingly close to sea level. With a raging storm, you could easily see waves crashing up against the sides of the island.
No structures, just forest, right?
You can't see any structures, dense forestation.
Then I'll sort of take Spyglass over to the Mullifair boat. And
Give me
see
a perception check.
if I see anything alive. 12.
12. You can't see the main part of the boat. Again, there's behind some sort of larger boulders and stuff that you need to get closer. You can see the tops of the masts. One of the masts, the sail has been torn or fallen off. one of them remains, and right now it looks to be blowing. You wait for like a gust of wind, and there's a little pause as it kind of travels down, and it seems to be traveling with the wind currently.
Great.
With how detect magic works, it's only within 30 feet of yourself, right?
Yeah.
Any kind of, like if there were a aura of magic around an entire island, say, I'd have to be that close to it to tell. Because even if it was a projection of something,
Oh, I see what you mean.
seeing it from far away, that wouldn't help me.
Yeah, it wouldn't help. That's a little bit more range.
What else did we get just now from these frog creatures? I'm thinking about detecting whether this helmet has magic in it or of any kind. Does anybody else have anything that I should check?
No.
No, I think I'm okay.
I mean, the keys, I suppose, but I don't suspect those are magical, honestly, so...
I mean, maybe I've never checked with these small ivory faces or the...
I don't suspect those would be
would
magical.
surprise me.
They would-
Anyway, I'm going to take 10 minutes and we'll look at all these.
Graven
And
sits
so-
for a moment, finds a rock to sit on there and concentrate. Yeah.
I'll also kind of look down the way. Graven asked to look for a place. If I can, I probably won't be able to see towards the isthmus, but like near an hour. I can't pronounce them. Like just sort of down the coast. If I can find any sort of like places that seem like they might be safe to rest or bury something.
Yeah, I mean, basically, all the way from where you are, all the way to the isthmus, there's like the tree line of the woods you came out of, and then a nice big beach gap of anywhere between 50 to 100 feet, depending on how wide the beach is, and then the water. So it's pretty much consistent all the way. So presumably, if at some point you took a little detour into the woods, you could find a spot to hide or something. But yeah.
Then while we're waiting here, I'll just sort of camp out and keep my eye on the sails and the wind.
Okay, great. Give me a perception check, Orba and Safira. Anything while Graven's concentrating
6.
here? Okay.
I thought you want a perception check from me.
If you're poking around. I don't know if you
Yeah,
guys
I'll
are doing-
poke around a little bit while
Give me an
we're here.
investigation check.
Why not? Why not poke? Oh, because I'm not good at it.
Didn't he ask for one?
13.
13, okay.
Didn't he ask for one from you?
Depending on what she was doing.
Oh.
I don't know what Orba.
Oh, I'm just sitting and thinking.
Okay, staying there with Graven, thinking. As Safira's just kind of waiting for Graven, she looks back. She sees Graven sort of focusing, concentrating. She looks at Erland, who's looking through the spyglass. She just kind of wanders a little bit closer down toward the water, and one of the waves kind of rolls in. And sometimes you'll see the wave like hit a rock, and you'll see it kick up a little bit. A little bit of the foam kind of kicks up, and at one point, a wave kind of kicks up a little bit, and then as it's pulling back out,
It doesn't.
Oh.
some kind of face body that has been washed ashore sort of kicks up against the
I'm gonna kind of flag them down and call everyone. There's a.
Is it right in front of us, or?
it's down the beach
I was
to the
calling
water.
them. over
Yeah,
to-
no, I know. It's
Yeah.
probably 30 feet away from you,
Okay.
down by the edge of the water.
Should we go see if that's still alive, or?
I'll look with the spyglass at it. Does it seem alive?
It isn't moving at all, and the clothes are ripped, tattered. It's bloated. It looks like it might have been floating for a while.
Seems dead. Orba, perhaps you should not go near it for the moment.
If he is in fact dead, come with me. Let's
Yeah.
go see if he's got anything on him.
Keep an eye on the sails.
Why can't they
Just
go?
not yet. 'Cause last time we were around dead people, they attacked Safira.
No, last time they were around dead people, I sent them to the ethereal plane to rest.
After...
Two of them.
That's true.
I'm not saying it's not
We're
a good
just
thing.
gonna
I'm just saying
you
it
can
was
go
only
near
two.
it eventually, but just in a second. Keep an eye on the sails, Orba.
I'll keep an eye.
Not looking at the sails.
Has it flipped around?
You guys start to move down towards the shore. Just as you guys are moving down, we'll say it's about 10 minutes have gone by, and Graven finishes ritually casting Detect Magic. You open your eyes with the helmet. No sense of magic.
Stupid ass.
It's okay. That drinking horn.
Feel particularly stout as he wears it.
I mean, looks nice.
It
doesn't.
protects your head.
It's a
like,
fashion
it's
statement.
It's not AC,
Oh,
so it's.
fuck.
I don't
You get
know.
shot with an arrow in the face. Does it help at all?
I mean, if there was like some falling rocks or something.
Just a bicycle helmet.
God.
God damn it.
If you trip and fall real bad.
All right, I'm gonna tear the plumage off so that it's a little more simple and how
So you don't run into Bat like a little bird.
how large of an item if it's not worn?
Medium.
I'll wear it.
With like torn bits of plumage still on the top of it.
It's like Steve now.
Oh man,
This is not your day, dude.
You guys walk down to the water, slowly, carefully approaching, and as you get closer, no signs of movement other than the water that kind of pushes up against it as it moves along the shore. You see it's covered in sand, and the attire looks black, like a tattered black attire. There was some kind of like tunic and a simple pair of pants. It looks like a dead woman of some kind, and though she has sort of nothing obvious on her, like there isn't something on her belt or like a weapon strapped to her back or anything, you see some deep gashes on her back. Like she's face down, kind of in the water, and you see some like very deep, sharp gashes on her back.
Claws, it looks like.
Like
Like
you're getting
multi-
closer to take a look. I mean, you guys are seeing this from a little
Oh,
bit.
I wanna get closer.
Yeah,
Take a
so you
look.
can. Give me investigation checks.
Very good. 22.
22. I'll say, taking a close look, definitely sharp enough to be claws, but not sharp enough to be a weapon. So, like, it looked like something natural, like a claw or a tooth or something.
And there were like multiple ones like nearby rather than a single stroke.
There's multiple of them, and they're like in all different directions. Like, and the tunic is kind of tattered, so you can, if you sort of raise it or something, you might be able to get a better look at the gash.
Yeah, can we like pull her out of the water a little
you
bit
can, she's
carefully?
mostly like all the way up, but if you pull her a little further, the water no longer.
Would I
like,
know if
sinks
a
the
sea
bottom.
hag has claws
Sea
like
hags
that?
have claws?
They do? Okay.
Yeah, difficult to tell that exactly if it's that claw, but sea hags do have claws.
Check out the wounds and also maybe like roll her over after I've done that as well to check to see.
I want to
if
see if she has a bag on her.
She has no bag on her. As you pull up the shirt a little bit to get a look at the gashes, not only are they in a bunch of different directions, they're in letters.
Oh my
And
god.
carved into the back of this person, it says, "No deal, I steal." In
Yuck. Yuck, I say.
Okay, I'm really starting to waffle on this.
No deal.
In addition to that, sort of lumped in with your investigations, there's other markings as well that are wounds that don't look like claw marks. Quills stuck into her leg. Tiny bite marks that look like they came from sort of a very small mouth, like maybe even like a fish. And some three-pronged indentations that maybe came from like a trident or something with like multiple puncturing points.
So quills like you don't mean writing quills, you mean like from
Yes, like animal quills.
You could stab
You
someone
could,
with one of
yes.
those.
The hag is a poet.
Pen, my dear, and all that.
yeah.
Terrible advice.
Any markings of who this person might be affiliated to if we turn her over? Like
Just the color of the clothing. It's the only thing you note.
a deal gone wrong, it seems.
Yeah, no shit, man. I mean,
Yes, this is horrible.
so,
I hate this.
yeah, I don't like this at all. Can we now please show Orba and Graven so that we all have the same information?
Orba.
Graven looks like he's finished with.
Oh, I can come? I
Yes.
can come now?
How are the sales doing?
Okay,
don't know.
you know what? No attitude.
She comes over, give me the glass.
I've just seen this. You're still Reaper, right?
Yeah.
I've just seen this thing like going all over the place.
The glass. And I'll turn my sights back to the boat again.
Looks the same, the sails. That's the only part you can see is the masts, but you see them.
What? Can I look?
Yeah, so not friendly, I don't think. And if the deal goes wrong, clearly consequences.
There's letters in her body.
So that was the first thing I noticed. But what else is interesting is it seems like she might have some allies in there with her, which we knew was a potential problem.
Allies of the sea.
Also, a weapon potentially, a trident of some kind.
Seems-
not entirely unexpected.
Urchins, perhaps, some sort of sea urchins that could be shooting out quills. Fish bites, perhaps, and then, yes, tridents may perhaps murder people.
Okay.
So what I'm saying is, how are we feeling considering this?
I will say we don't know how greedy this person got and how much they tried to get away with.
Or if
Well, she
they
has
didn't have
nothing
much
on
to
her.
offer.
To be clear, also, this may go without saying, but this is a message for passerbys, not for this person.
No shit.
Oh no, I thought that they were just.
It could be both.
Mutilating
It could
her
be
body.
neither.
Why would she mutilate the body for the person who's already dead?
Maybe she's a
For
big old
fun?
meanie.
I mean,
I think this
this
is a-
looked.
Maybe it happened before she died.
Oh, that's the worst theory ever.
Totally possible, though.
Could I tell from wounds whether they were post-mortem?
Detective.
Given,
Yeah, I know.
given that this body seems to have been in the salt water for some time,
Not when
very
it's been
difficult to
soaking like
tell,
that.
yeah.
Not even the person who knows.
I've seen her forehead at this point.
Her forehead.
Oh.
Yeah, I rolled her over.
Yes. Okay. Yeah, I don't see anything.
No Kuzny symbol.
Yeah.
So, the thing that I'm thinking is, we shouldn't be bringing any of our stuff with us if we go in outside of our weapons, and maybe the one thing, if we do decide there is anything, that we want to bargain with. But if we enter bargaining with her, the risk of that, I think, is higher than the reward. If we decide to say, hey, we've got something for you, and she doesn't like it, we're in combat and we don't have the element of surprise. But if we go in saying we're gonna kill this thing, then at least we might have the element of surprise. I'm thinking we might just want to walk away. If she's got that much, I don't know, help in there, that's a concern.
You mean walk away completely, not that...
The other thing I thought is I could try to have an animal or something scout for us. If we wait for the wind to change, I can try to have a friendly creature look in and see what we're dealing with, so that, I mean, that way at least we have more information.
Friendly sea creature? Can you speak to anything that lives in the
I
water?
can speak to animals in general, so something that lives in the water shouldn't be a problem.
It might. Well, couple things. First of all, we're underestimating this creature's intelligence. If we simply bury something outside, she could be like, go get the thing that you buried. It matters to you.
It's totally possible. I'm just saying that the more steps we can put between her and just grabbing something,
I don't-
probably the better.
It sounds like, at least even based on this horrible mutilation, that the first attempt is a deal. So the deal could, I suppose all I'm saying is in terms of burying something, is she could very
But
easily
she
say...
might ask us for something ridiculous. Like,
Sure, but she might ask us for that regardless of whether or not we bury it, is what I'm saying.
I'm just saying I
What
would
would
like
be
to
the
see
most
what's
ridiculous
inside.
thing for you to give up right now?
Orba. What if she said she stays with me?
That's a murder. That's not a deal.
It's a deal to this.
All
What do
right.
you think? This thing
Beside
costs-
members of our
Besides
group,
people.
what would be the most ridiculous thing for you to give up right now?
Probably.
My bow.
Oh.
So listen, I'm.
It's pretty,
Look,
I know we don't have much, but what we do
if
have
we're
is
gonna
that.
do this, we're not going in blind, okay?
Okay,
So I
so
am
find
going
a
to
fish
try.
or
Let
something.
me
Or
find a fish.
another option, perhaps, is
I'm
people
gonna find a fish.
without... Finding a fish is a lovely idea. Find a
Okay,
fish.
what else?
What's your idea? Spit it out.
If all of us go in, that's 4 deals she needs to make. If only a couple of us go in,
We
that's
don't know
2
that
Then we're
she's
deals.
gonna
splitting
make
up.
a deal
I'm
with
not
everyone.
sending somebody in there without.
All right.
I was no
Go
one
talk
was
to the
going in
fish.
there alone. Let me
Not
find
right
a
now.
fucking fish.
You're
Just a
pretty
couple.
far from the
We're-
boat, so
yeah,
you're
we're
like
very far.
an hour or more of
Do
travel.
we want
Oh,
to wait for the
I
wind
thought the
to
fish could
change?
go fast.
No,
I
I'm,
mean, they can
while
swim,
I'm
but
talking to you,
that's
I'm
pretty
still
good.
like keeping an eye on this.
Why
here.
don't we wait for the wind to change and then I'll look for my first animal? Yeah.
Again, not here. You would do that
We
much
have to
closer.
get closer, but let's be quiet as we're approaching. I don't want to let anything know we're here. So if we're gonna do any talking, let's do it now.
We're going to be out in the open on the beach.
I know. I'm just
Anybody
saying.
who's
May I-
interested in looking is going to see the people.
Posit the fact that what if the wind only changes for an hour this day and that's it?
Well then,
Well, then
it
we're
sucks
fucked.
because we're not doing it then.
Why wouldn't we just go in? What are we hoping to see?
Because we're not stupid.
We just got to the shore saying we're gonna scout. We're
And
not
we're
gonna get
scouting.
close,
Look,
and
we
we're scouting.
discovered a mutilated lady. We're looking on a beach in the forest.
Oh my
Scouting done.
You haven't even
No
gotten
idea
into
what's
a
going on
position where we could-
inside.
okay.
What do you
We're
think's
not-
gonna happen?
Erland's like,
This
shunk!
is not strategic. This is not strategic at all. We're not doing it that way. We are going to scout more if we're going in at
Alright,
all.
I'll
We're not
keep
going to be stupid. We
looking.
don't have the room.
I'll keep looking.
But let's get a little closer so that Safira can get the fish.
I imagine as well that what happened here means that a deal was tried to be struck, and this person tried to just walk away with no deal at all, and that was unacceptable. Is that if you go
Well,
in looking for a
once-
deal, some kind of deal
Once
must be
the
made.
deal, I get the sense, and I could be wrong, but I don't think so, that if you go in and you make a deal, whether she likes it or not, you are either going to die there or she's going to get what she wants from you. I'm assuming that we're entering into
gets
combat.
something.
Yes, as soon as she doesn't like a deal.
It's just another one of those things where we could pause it all we want, but we're never gonna know for sure. There's all kinds of ways that this could be or go.
All right.
That's why we're getting a fish.
Should we
Let's
get
keep
closer
closer.
while we observe?
Yes.
Before this goes away, let me look at the statues that you've got.
Oh, I have the little.
They do not glow with magic of any
Oh, actually, the Redirian burial urn. Does that glow in any way?
It does not.
The
Ceremonial nature.
The pledge mage talisman.
It does glow with magic. Yes.
Do I know what kind of magic?
I think you can tell, right? You can spend an action to sort of pulse and it is.
You learn at School of Magic.
Yep.
Yeah.
Double check.
magical
Safira's just looking at Erland and shaking her head.
To two things.
I can't see you.
It is. No, it's okay. Make sure I get the right.
Did Scooter have a top hat and a monocle, or just in my head?
No, just in your head. He was just
He
very
had a bow
I know
tie.
he had a bow
He
tie.
had a leafy bow tie.
Did he also have a top hat and
You just
monocle?
pulled what I thought the Lemonade Man had a big top hat, and a big mustache. Like that guy from, what is it?
Yeah.
Rocky Raccoon?
no,
or no, not
it's,
Rocky Raccoon. not
Wesley
Rocky.
Snidely Whiplash. Snidely
There
Whiplash.
we go.
Enchantment magic.
Okay. Which is like altering.
Manipulation,
Yeah.
sometimes of your manipulation of different kinds.
Okay. Okay.
So it's a mix. It's a mix of abjuration and enchantment magic.
Whoa!
Now, I wouldn't know just from detecting that whether immediately attuning to it would be dangerous. Like, I'd have to.
That doesn't detect if there's a curse on it.
You have to attune to it, right? Unless you get it identified.
To tell if there's a curse. I mean, if you spend time identifying it, there's a chance you could be able to tell that it's cursed in some way, depending on the nature of the curse. But
Well, my helmet is just a fucking helmet.
Yeah, I'm sorry about
But
that, mate.
this talisman that I got from the pledge mage does have some enchantment and abjuration magic.
Oh,
in it.
maybe put that on.
I assume it would make you
you'd have to-
invisible.
It completes the outfit.
Remember, it was able to turn invisible without the talisman. It,
Oh.
it didn't immediately.
I know,
Powers
but it
them.
could do something. You tried on maybe
could,
find
but
out.
it could also curse
While
you
we're
once
scouting,
you.
why don't I try and identify it?
Oh.
Can I do that?
you can do it during a short rest.
Yeah. Yeah. So if I'm like, if they're scouting and I'm just.
If you're not continuing to like travel.
One of us could.
Oh yeah.
So
why
we're
not?
trying to get within, just so I'm clear, we're trying to get within like 10 minutes of this boat because her
10
talk with
minutes?
animal only lasts 10 minutes.
Yeah,
we want to
like
get
what? The
super
shortest
close.
distance between the shore and the boat.
Boat is. Okay,
right?
great.
Yeah, so we're gonna walk. Erland will lead the way on that, walking. I mean, we're out in the open on the beach, just alertly.
Yeah.
All right, give me a perception with advantage, given that you're looking multiple times over the course of walking here.
Those are very bad rolls. 11.
Oh my
Perception?
God.
Yep. 10.
Okay.
That was lame.
A not unwelcome little breeze gives you kind of a little boost from behind as you migrate down the beach. And it isn't long before you have a little better look at the area around the wreck. Some of those boulders that were blocking your vision sort of slowly, they're actually further out in the water than they first looked. So as you're moving down the beach, they're kind of moving off to the left and you're able to see around them to the other side. The first thing that you notice is that the sand is dotted with what at first you think are like stones, like wet stones, all over the beach. But actually, as Erland looks through the glass, he sees that there are dozens, maybe even hundreds of dead fish, like silver, shiny dead fish littering the beach. They're at their highest concentration down near the water, but they continue to kind of spread out further and further as they move up and are strewn about the shore. You see that gulls have flocked to this spot, but curiously, they kind of keep their distance from the ship itself. Most of them have chosen to kind of stand and perch on nearby rocks or clumps of driftwood that have come ashore. It's rare that you see one of the birds take to the skies, and when they do, they actually fly inland rather than out to sea. There is also what looks to be a man-made element to this spectacle that you're seeing, a series of flat stepping stones that lead from the beach all the way out to the ship. Each of them has kind of a slimy buildup of brown and green algae like you'd expect on a rock that was underwater, but then a clean top, as if someone dropped a rock there and then hacked off the top of the rock. So it's these big boulders that have a perfectly flat top and then, usual kind of algae covered sides to them. And it's a series of stones that go all the way from the beach out to the boat, and where it meets the boat, there is a sizable breach in the hull of the ship, a big hole in the side of the ship, where one could conceivably enter into the ship without getting up to the top deck. Though with the amount of damage that the boat has sustained, there might be possibly other openings, underwater if there was some kind of damage to the boat. But there is one obvious big breach in the side of the boat.
How do these stones... Go ahead.
2 questions before I forget.
Yep.
One, as we're walking, I want to see just where the water meets the sand.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I just want to see, as we're walking, I want to be aware if there's anything shiny, any objects, just as we're walking. That
Like
maybe
where
washed
you are or
ashore.
over near the boat?
As we're walking, like if I'm sort of checking it out, I want to be looking to the ground as well, see if anything's washed ashore.
No, nothing that...
And
until you get closer to the boat.
And are any of the gulls eating the fish on the ground?
No.
Yeah.
There's fish up ahead. Don't step on them. Don't touch them. They could be traps. The gulls aren't eating them for some reason.
Can I be honest? I think that we might have ventured a bit. I think this might be as close as we should get.
We're not at the fish.
You're not at it yet. You're seeing this from a
Once we get to those fish, though, there seems to be some kind of a radius around this thing, and I think we should stay at least a bit outside of it,
I
right?
agree. I agree entirely.
So,
Is there a point, now that Safira's mentioned that, where it seems like the gulls will not cross, like a certain threshold, if that makes sense?
hard to tell. They just don't really fly like to the boat itself.
Are
There
they
isn't, like, a-
around, like, I guess I'm picturing right now almost like a radius of fish sort of out from the boat, or is it more haphazard?
It is kind of a radius, but it's like a little semicircle kind of near the shore.
Are the gulls crossing that plane at all?
Yeah.
Okay.
Sometimes they'll fly inland, further inland. They just don't fly over to the boat.
Okay.
Yeah. There doesn't seem to be a hard barrier that they won't cross.
And the stones, these are big. Like
Yeah,
one or
they're
two
big.
of us could step on one. at
Two
a
people
time,
could be
two
on
people.
the same side.
And they're in the sand leading towards the ocean.
Yeah.
And once it gets to the ocean, there's floating rocks?
They don't seem to be moving. It seems like they're enormous rocks.
Big enough that, because it's not beached, you said, it's like
It eventually
out.
goes out into the water. I mean, the water's the decline is very gradual. It's like
Yeah.
a sandbar kind of.
Yeah.
So the water stays shallow for a long time, but yes, it continues to go out into the water.
This is a well-traveled path. I don't know if they are all friends of the sea hag, as Spud made out the secret to entail, but this is a well-traveled path.
Well, I think the idea,
doesn't mean it's
again,
safe.
quietly, obviously.
I agree.
The idea, I feel like enemies or intruders enter from that breach, but there's a better entrance when the sail changes wind. That there's an access point, rather.
I think we should just stay here for a moment and watch if anything goes in and out, especially when the wind changes. That's the best we can do.
Be undercover as that happens, or are we?
You can be like by the tree line.
Let's
Yeah,
be.
like up-
Let's remain
yeah.
by this tree line then. At least.
Like
for
that's
you,
still like
you
that's
can
you know
get
from the
out.
water to the tree line. There's 50-60 feet. So yeah.
Oh, that's it. Oh, hell yeah.
Oh, so then yeah, we'll get to the tree line, but sort of then
bigger in some
proceed-
places, but yeah.
Proceed closer so that like we can maybe even get almost like perpendicular to the ship.
Okay, sure. Creeping a little
Not
closer.
quite that far. We just...
So
Give me
Because-
everybody give me perception checks.
Well, I would say because those stones lead to the beach, right? Do they go kind of up to the tree line, those
No.
stones?
They're like from the edge of the water,
Okay.
like
Okay.
starting at the sand.
11.
Natural.
Perception?
Yeah,
13.
15.
great. You guys take a careful look as you guys are examining. And Erland, as he's sort of stepping through the tree line and takes a glance over, you look up and the wind catches in the opposite direction of the sail. And in that moment, you see ripples in the water. Just without anything surfacing, just activity just under the surface of the water. Some of it moving kind of towards the ship. And then once it gets close to the ship, it kind of trails off as if maybe it went down deeper.
There's our entrance. The sail's moving in the opposite direction. I'm going to be
Okay,
pointing.
we're not going anywhere now.
There is. I know. Just look under the water. There's movement. Our entrance is under the water, right by the side of the ship, not through the big scary stones.
How? Pay attention to the map.
Yes,
See how
I'm
long
timing
it
as we're
lasts.
going here. 10, 11. I'm just going to count as
Sure,
we're
you
watching.
do so. Okay. It lasts for a little while. Anything else you're doing during this time?
I'll look to see if the fish change. I'll
Yeah, I
look to
wanna
see if
look
the
at the
seagulls
animal,
change.
like-
The seagulls don't really seem to react to the changing of the wind or the changing of the sails, kind of.
Can I... I'm not going in, I promise. I'm just going to the shore.
Graven, can I look at the talisman?
Yes.
I'm going to... avoiding the circle of fish. I just want to get to where the water is. Like...
Okay, you're trying to avoid stepping on the fish?
Yeah, I'm trying to avoid stepping on the fish.
There's a lot of
No, I want to like give it a pretty wide berth.
Okay.
Here. I just want to get to
circle
the edge of the
around
water so I can maybe see what's going on underwater a little bit better.
No, yeah,
Just be
it's
too hard?
salty ocean water. It's very difficult
Oh,
to
okay,
like
never
see
mind.
down
Never
into
mind.
it. It's not like a clear like river or lake or anything.
I'll be kind of looking up and down the beach if he's out there, just to see if I see anybody
Nothing
approaching
from
either
the
direction.
from the east or west along the beach there.
Orba is going to start a short rest
Okay.
in the hopes that they scout for an hour or whatever in the duration she's going to try to identify.
Okay. As she begins, Erland walks down to the beach. About 5 minutes go by and catches with the wind once more. Okay. And some of those ripples that you saw in the water come to like a stillness in the water.
And I didn't
We're
see
all
any.
like-
I didn't see any animals going with it at all. Like I didn't see any like fish jumping out of the water.
You didn't see anything surface.
Okay.
It's like things waiting below the surface of the water. Yeah.
None of those like divey birds
No.
disappear for a little longer than they should.
5 minutes. We have about 5 minutes to enter. That's enough time to enter.
That's certainly enough time to enter, but
It's not enough time to get out.
Well, we'd also. Here's the problem. If we're going underwater, we probably have to drink the potions of water breathing.
No, we definitely can't do that. We can't risk it. We
It's-
don't know. We
it's a-
might need them on the way in and on the way out of the shade assembly.
It's a big ass ship, right?
It's pretty big.
And like most of it's underwater, right?
Like 2/3 of it are underwater.
I think you're right. I think you're right.
We have to drink
I
the
think
potion.
he's right. I think
Yes.
I'm right.
I can hold my breath for 30
Fuck's sake.
seconds. How long can you hold your breath for?
A lot longer than 30 seconds.
Sure.
But not that much.
Not
An
five.
hour?
No.
It's
fuck's
a
sake.
gigantic
I'm
ship.
not magic.
Even enough time to swim out there and swim back.
I know. I'm just concerned that this is gonna. We can't do something that's gonna preclude us from getting into the shade assembly.
I understand.
This is why, then, perhaps only a couple people go in and don't fight but give things up.
ridiculous.
Given the strength of the perception check, also, where those ripples kind of went and then started to trail off, it looks like it's kind of where the breach is, the big hole. It looked like it was just off to the right of that, meaning if you walked along the stones for a time, you could then jump into the water from there, as opposed to literally dive into the water from the beach.
I see. I see.
Like, it seemed like where those ripples were headed was not actually that far from where the breach is on the side of the boat.
Right, but a lot of the boat is underwater.
Yeah, a good chunk of the boat is underwater.
So it's just it would be very risky to dive underwater in a crumbling ship. Someone could get caught. That seems dangerous.
I
All right.
Yes.
All right.
Let's think about
Let
it.
me pitch something here. We have a talisman. She's, by the way, she's trying to figure out what that
Yeah, I don't
talisman
know.
is.
Can I hear like
You could chip into
discuss?
conversation,
But I
as
can't.
long as you're...
But I can hear it.
Yeah.
I just want to make
if,
sure I'm hearing.
if you came back from the water.
Yeah.
So,
It's been about 15 minutes, 20 minutes.
She's trying to figure out what the talisman is.
Okay.
We have the talisman, which means we have some kind of a connection to the pledge mages. We have made a connection to a former warden. You have a connection with animals.
Yes.
We have the information that only friends of the Sea Hag would have going in. Can we come up with a story that we are friendly, that we are there
I mean,
as...
Perhaps, but why does that matter? I mean, regardless of how friendly we may be, she doesn't care about friendly. She cares about useful, or she cares about inflicting pain.
That we come with information, that we come...
She is going. Here's what's going to happen.
But
In
what
all
information do we realistically have?
Here's the thing. It's going to be a deal. We're going to walk in. She's not going to try and fight us right away. She's going to try and strike a deal, and we will probably have to take that deal. Maybe be able to push back ever so slightly in a sort of negotiation, Potentially, but in
It's
all
optimistic.
likelihood, we go in, she says, give me that, or tell me about this, or give me your bow or something, and we say yes to it, and we have to be ready for that.
I will. Okay, no. I'm not saying. Yeah, sure. Have my bow.
Well,
right before we go.
Safira,
to one of you
I agree.
It sounds like you're not going. Does that mean that we're all not going?
I mean, I'm not, certainly not sending her in alone, and I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I don't know what the best thing to do is. I can't lose this.
I will say
I'm not taking it in.
your endeavors in the myconid trade probably stand to benefit the most
gain?
from this.
Oh,
I
absolutely
agree, but she
understand.
has more things, certainly, than I do.
But this would be to
That
lose
would
or
be
loss as
useful.
well.
And that's why I said it sounds like you're not going in.
Well,
What if Graven and I went in? I'll give you the Grimari book. That's the only thing they have that I'd be even remotely upset with them taking.
Quickly not looking up from the item. You're also assuming she wants material things. Brainstorm some information.
look,
please.
really, if I'm being entirely realistic about what I think is going to happen, I think we're going to go in and get in a fight. And I think if we're not prepared to go in and get in a fight, then we shouldn't go in.
Graven, do you have anything on you that you would be terribly upset if you lost?
Again, things like armor, things like weapons.
I don't even have that.
Honestly, as Orba mentioned, information, things that we know. And whether that has to do with the myconid trade or what's standing out to me right now,
I'll happily tell a sea hag about the myconid trade.
I don't
Literally-
think it matters.
the fact of what she is could be one of the most important pieces of information we have.
So if I tell that to the sea hag, what bad would that do? It's a sea hag that lives in a boat.
The world of the undead
Here's the
reaches
thing.
all people.
Graven, I don't really care about that. I truly don't. Which might be why I'm the best suited to go in. All the gods fighting
If we send
doesn't bother me
one of us in
whatsoever.
alone, if we send two of us in together, that's still sending two of us in. We don't need to go in there with half of our power. If we're gonna go in, we should go in all of us, or we should go in none of us.
Why?
We shouldn't go in
Why?
at all. Because I think that it might be inevitable that a fight starts.
Why? That's not what anyone has said about sea hags.
Because of the letters carved into the back of the body that we just saw.
No deal.
Yes.
I accept the deal. Then I won't get murdered.
So whatever, but whatever deal, whatever she asks you. So what if she says you need to go back to Atonement's End? What if she says go the fuck
I
back?
don't think she can send me back to Atonement's End. That's not
She
the
can
kind
do
of
whatever the fuck she likes.
That's not a deal that she can enact in this moment, though. What's she gonna do? Follow me for the rest of my life?
It would be more about what he knows about Atonement's
I'll
End,
happily
or-
tell them everything I know about Atonement's End. I don't give a shit about that.
I
Here's the thing that I have over all of you.
Oh, good. Now let's hear it.
Nothing.
Yes.
I have nothing in the outside world. I have lived a great portion of my adult life cloistered in a monastery without seeing anything.
Yeah, that doesn't sound familiar at all.
You're
What?
right. Nobody in this group could possibly relate to your experience.
Yes, I haven't been given a divine job either. No offense, but you are significantly more important now.
Oh, okay.
As are you, and you have many things.
I don't want to send you in there to die, mate.
I've yet to hear a good reason.
So many wonderful things.
She's got this, you've got that, and you've got.
Stop.
I mean, I just hear the thing is that all of you, additionally, all of your powers stem from something. She can't take key energy from me.
Can she not do that?
I don't think so.
What if she,
I'm not trying to die in there. I'm just saying that in terms of a negotiation, I have the
you know
least
why
to
I
lose.
don't want you to go in there, Graven?
Yes, because he has a god that likes to make him shoot
No,
things.
not just that, but these spores that are in your fucking knapsack
that?
right now.
Well,
That can't go in
I
there.
care less about these spores than
No, I
than
know, I'm just saying
Erland
you can't
cares about
release those
anything.
into the sea.
Oh, no.
So,
Listen, the more I think about this, the more I think that it would be very dangerous for all of us to go in. I also think it's potentially
Then
quite
we have
dangerous.
to think of a
Listen,
signal.
for me to just go in, but also if we want information, I think that's the safest way to do it.
Sure, if we're gonna do that,
And I drink
if we
one
do
potion of
decide,
water breathing.
then I have to take the spores from you.
No, just me. Just me.
You want to go in alone?
I don't want to go in
I don't
alone,
want
but
to
it's the
put you in
safest.
alone. It's not the safest. You're just saying that. Just because you've said it doesn't make it a fact.
The biggest problem I think here that we haven't really spoken about is that there could be nothing of value for us down there.
Yeah, there could be, but there probably will be, right? We have to assume that there probably will be. I mean,
Give me-
otherwise, why
listen,
are we here?
Listen, give me the keys, I'll give you the book, and I'll run if anyone starts fighting me.
Well, but what if you can't make it away? What if you can't even have a chance to signal? I do
I'll
not
just
think that
run.
anyone should go in there. What if you can't? What if while she was running away, this was carved into her back? What if her running away was when
Everyone
the
is
spines
saying
and-
no to a lot of these ideas without having any good ideas themselves that
I'm
protect us.
saying that you go in with Graven.
He has a shield. He has secrets about gods.
Well, he gives me his shield.
He has secrets about Orba that are extremely significant to him.
So then, okay, you and I go in. I don't bring my bow.
Conversation happens over the course of a while. Give me an Arcana check. During
Thank God I can't listen to these assholes anymore.
During this time, also at one other point, maybe 45 minutes after before,
Okay, all right.
and then maybe
Like
in
5 minutes again?
even maybe a little longer this time, 6 minutes.
Oh,
She's getting generous.
Arcana check.
it's gonna be 7 minutes then.
11.
11. The Verdant Talisman. After squeezing tight in both hands for 10 minutes, sort of a little ritual, you can touch one willing creature, including yourself, and bestow upon it the magic of this talisman. The bestowed creature gains 10 temporary hit points and adds 1d6 to initiative rolls while it wears the talisman. It lasts for an hour. So, temporary HP and initiative bonus lasts for an hour, and it crumbles to dust after use.
Oh, so it's one use. Okay.
It's a lot of pledge mages because stolen a bunch of
I
talismans.
know.
But yes.
Very sweet.
Okay. Good news. Not cursed. Very useful.
That's good.
It is one use.
That's less good.
And
So
we'd have to attune to it, I
no,
imagine.
you don't.
Oh, that's good.
You just squeeze it with both hands for 10 minutes.
10 minutes.
That's a long time.
Touch yourself
has to
or
be like-
somebody else,
It's not a mid-combat thing.
and you're granted some temporary life, and you get like a bonus to your initiative roll.
You really lost the lost the thread. Really good
You
stuff.
got a bonus to your secretly describes so many
Really good
magical
shit.
items from I'm tired of it.
It gives you good stuff. Feels good, man. When you feel a fight starting,
I was-
you really feel.
Improved reflex.
Yeah.
I was hoping it would prove useful for this specific situation. I'm not sure if it does, but it is quite useful.
It might. Whoever's going in should do that.
All right, what is the worst case scenario of us all going in?
We die.
Okay.
Okay,
So
so
ask what the worst
okay,
case scenario.
we've been talking.
I
Okay,
gave
hold
it
on,
to you.
hold on. We have been talking as if we're going in ready for a negotiation. We have not talked at all about going in with an ambush, and I just want to talk that out for a second.
I like this idea.
I just want to talk it out. We just need
we
to
should.
flesh it out. Because if we are entering from an access point, possibly, hopefully, undetected,
How many potions of water breathing
Undetected.
do we have?
We would be going in at the same time as
Something.
these friends.
Yes.
These,
okay,
So
yep,
there would be at least those that are entering
yep,
with us.
Yep.
On her side.
yep.
That's not an ambush.
So,
Also, how many potions of water breathing do we have?
7.
Not enough.
Not enough.
We need
It's
to
enough
get
for us to all go in.
It's enough for us
Yeah,
to all go in.
not to the
And
shade
then somebody
assembly.
doesn't have a
Yeah.
potion of water breathing going into the shade assembly.
Which is not acceptable, I don't think.
Although I do have other people scouting the shade assembly to detect
Yeah,
how long
I
we...
understand. I'm
And
just
Pockets
saying,
is coming, and I can hold my
we
breath
want
a long time.
options when it
Okay,
comes to the escape
again,
route.
still, just fleshing it out. Here are some pros. We don't even feign going in with negotiations, so we just have hopefully some kind of an advantage on an initial attack. We
Surprise, yes,
Yes.
we would have a bit of surprise.
we go in ready, which I think is huge.
I have a small bomb we can literally.
Can you even
blow
shoot
up
arrows
and get in.
underwater?
Can I? I
You
can.
can.
Right?
They
It's
travel.
like
I think they
different
travel
dynamic,
partial
yeah.
distance or something.
Yeah.
You do have a sword. Also, we don't know
She
if
does
the
not.
part
Oh, you do have
I
a
do
ranged
have a sword.
we don't know if the part where the sea hag is currently occupying will be underwater or above it. Do sea hags breathe underwater? Like, do they?
Do
I imagine they can.
Sorry.
Do sea hags breathe underwater?
They're
Like-
swimming. Yeah, they are amphibious creatures.
So would
do
they
breathe underwater.
would they more likely be comfortable in living in water rather than
They are
on the surface?
both water
Okay.
and land. Yeah, that's.
Okay.
And after, if we are successful, we get everything. We don't have to give something up. So if we are truly unwilling to give up items and we don't have information that we think will be valuable to a sea hag,
I think the best case scenario is exactly what you described, because genuinely, if we go in and do make a deal with her, we are going to have to get something up to get back only limited information in return, only what she's willing to give us. The only way we truly have access to the information that's on this ship is if she is gone. Because if she's gone, we can go in and properly wipe this thing out.
But the deal could be, we give you this, you leave us alone, and we rummage the ship.
Oh no, but you're wildly optimistic about
That's
this
the deal.
in a way
She's
that
not gonna. The whole point is you go in, and she goes.
they're
Okay,
tricky.
but back to
They're
Yes,
not-
that's
they,
the
they
point,
like
though.
back
to, no,
to
they like
what
to make
information or item are we willing to give her?
Exactly.
That is
nothing.
I already
valuable.
said there's nothing that I'm
But if we're
uncomfortable
all
saying.
going
right.
but if
But,
we're all
but
going
no. I'm just saying. But like, what information do you have that would prove valuable to this sea hag?
I think
like-
the point is she wants to just take something from you. She doesn't want to use it. She just wants to take it from you.
Yeah,
But
so
if
do
you
you
don't have
understand
anything
what you're
valuable,
saying?
then she doesn't want it.
Yes.
Because she senses what is valuable to you.
What you're describing is a thing that enjoys just the act of taking something valuable from you so much that she just does it for the fun of it.
Yeah.
They make
So if
deals.
you don't have valuables, if you have nothing that you care about, she's not gonna
will
want something.
find something, or she will.
or she
there
will
will
find
be
something
no
from
deal.
someone else.
I'll chip in and say, with Graven and Safira, especially who know a little more about them, that scans to you. If you walk in and you're like, I have nothing I care about,
She'll find something.
Well, she'll find something, or she'll be like, okay, then you get nothing. You know what I mean?
I see.
Like, she's not just gonna be like, oh, you care about nothing? Here's all my stuff.
you broke the.
Yeah, like,
Oh no, but like, could she take like my nunchaku or knife, right? Like,
I mean, she could take a number of things, but if your pitch is I care about nothing, therefore I have nothing to lose, she might not make a deal with you at all because you have nothing you care about. Or
to be clear, I'm not saying that I don't care about nothing, so I have nothing to lose. I'm saying that there are less stakes to what I have to lose to our current
Sure,
mission.
but what I'm saying is if we all go in, which we should because this is a wildly dangerous circumstance,
all right.
then she is going to find something of the four of ours that she's going to take. And that might be our life, our pride, our ability. I mean, it could be a number of things.
Also, the information that I put forward, I wouldn't want anyone to give her that. It's not the idea that I care about it more. It's that I don't want other people to know it at all.
I agree.
Which is why it would be a great thing for her to try and get out of you.
Right.
Look, I think an ambush is our best bet. We can't assume that we're going to go in and not get into a fight. It's stupid. I'm sorry, but it is. It's not wise to assume that we're going to be able to go in and get out unscathed. We will lose something great and get something minimal, or best case scenario, we will fight and we will not have the element of surprise. So if we're doing this,
What
then
if- In the idea of the surprise, one of us goes in the front door under the guise of a trade. At the same time, other three enter the secret way.
I think the
and
front
we
door.
all
The front door could be a trap. There could be too many things going on.
Yeah, wait, what do we consider in the front door?
The breach?
The
breach.
breach. I think that's
Right.
too risky. There could be traps in there. The whole point of that could be
Well,
that person would then get destroyed.
look, part of the problem is that we don't have enough information. So the next thing that we need to do, exactly, Orba,
get the
is
fish.
get in touch with our scaly friend.
Is it worth?
Should I do that now, or should I wait until the next time the wind changes?
Do we?
I think I should wait.
When you spoke to the owl.
Yeah.
Did,
Scooter?
Yes. Did they know anything about
The sea hag?
this? Yes.
They
Did you
said
speak?
it was extremely dangerous and that she was likely to try to take everything that we had. I mean, he said not exactly that, but he said that it was gonna be like that he had seen a bunch of people go in and die, is what he had said. in
That
addition
people
to the
didn't
wind tip.
return.
Yeah, people didn't return. I mean, all he told me was that it was wildly dangerous, that he had seen people go in and that they did not return, and that the wind changes and that seems to allow for a moment of entry. But other than that, I know nothing.
I just meant, I guess, use that connection to
I mean, that's what I
know
mean.
to the area that, you're not just asking a random fish. Maybe you're asking a fish who may
Well, I'll
have connections.
I'll announce myself as a friend of Scooter's.
And then, while she
And
does
of that,
and while we
what was
wait-
the thing that that big bird that I helped?
The Obli?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's a good friend.
Mention the
Yeah. But tell him I know.
no name drop.
Yeah.
While we wait for the sea to change, or the wind to change,
Come
and you talk to the fish,
To the shore, then.
I think we all need to think to ourselves, and we put it to a vote or something.
All right.
Okay.
So I'll go with Safira to the keeping an eye on it.
Okay.
To the
Head
shore.
down to the shore. And again, not near the stones or anything, just off a little ways down the shore. Sure. Yeah, you head down.
You can speak to fish for 10 minutes.
Yeah. That's it. That's all I got.
I'm looking at our resources.
It's just, waiting for the wind to change.
I'm ready to
About-
cast my spell.
It's shorter in between intervals this time. It doesn't seem regular necessarily. This time maybe 25 minutes go by and then
Safira, now. You're gonna wade into the water.
Okay, so I want to wade into the water carefully, and I want to look for an animal that's like small but somewhat intelligent. So maybe like a little crab or
give me an
something.
investigation.
Crap, that's good.
Potentially.
Don't they have like no brain?
Crabs are actually surprisingly smarter than you would think.
Maybe.
Yeah, or an eel or something. What am I making? What's this check again?
Investigation.
Investigation. That's a dirty 20.
Dirty 20. As you wade into the water, you're looking for any signs of motion, and one thing that you see, you think at first is just kind of the waves rolling, but it actually looks like something very flat, and it looks like a ray or a skate of some kind.
fantastic.
Yeah. That is sort of just below the surface there. It's kind of riding the tides a little bit.
Okay, so can I kind of... I'm going to kneel down and I'm going to like...
Your knees kind of in
face
the
in the
water.
water. And I'm going to kind of... Hello. I'm a friend of Scooter's.
Oh, Scooter.
Yes. I was just wondering if it would be possible for you to tell me some information. You know that ship with the sea hag?
Yes.
Right. Do you know what's inside there? Do the fish around here sort of avoid that area, or
Yes.
does she hurt you guys?
Nope.
She doesn't hurt you. That's good. Does she have friends that are like you?
Yes.
Okay. Do you like having her in the water, sort of generally, or is she a bit of a nuisance?
Doesn't seem to be able to fully process the intricacies of that question.
Right. You don't like her, or you do? You don't have an opinion?
Don't.
Don't like her. Interesting. Okay. Now, what, if anything, could I give you? There are lots of fish on the shore. Would you eat those?
4.
For going to get a bit closer to her lair to tell us what it looks like, where she is, what other animals are there, if there's a weapon in the room, that would be really useful.
A little too much information to process there. I would say, given your knowledge of their ability to process it, like, pick one or two things that you'd like to maybe
Okay,
ask
okay.
to take a look at.
Right. I want to know. Just, can you tell me what?
We see her struggle.
Can you tell me the shape of the room, and if she's the only creature in it?
Okay.
Okay. How many fish would you like me to get you?
Friend of Scooter.
Yes.
I go now.
Okay, thank you so much. Be careful, please.
And it kind of fades back into the water a little bit and disappears.
I'm gonna kind of shake myself off.
Any luck?
I don't know. I found a manta ray, and he's going to investigate it for me. I think he's just going to be able to tell me how big the room is and if there's anything else in it.
Hey, Graven.
Yes.
And DM. Do you know if sea hags like alcohol?
In what context?
Like if I put some skagmas in the wine we just got, will she get super drunk and drink it?
You might have to trick her into drinking it. They're not like no lushes of the sea.
Okay.
Also, if the idea is that bottle came from the ship, she might be flush with it.
Yeah.
She might have his.
fair point,
She's
fair
like,
point.
oh, that shit? She like opens
Yeah,
the crate.
yeah. Like,
We could make
like
it the
spuds,
strongest wine in
yeah.
the world and be like,
Gold.
try this.
Well, we're waiting for the manta ray. Perhaps a combination of ideas here. If we go in
Mine was a combination of ideas.
looking, if we go in to negotiate, as soon as the asks are made, if there's any ask that is impossible, we attack, and we will likely have more information on what is in that room once Safira gets the manta ray back.
But then we're not. If we go in knowing that we're getting into a fight, we can take a moment to have my invigorating urn, or me to cast my mage armor on myself. Like there's prep that we could do. That
How
would
long
give us
does mage armor last?
an hour?
Cast that anyway.
No.
How long does the urn last?
Look,
10 minutes, not enough.
Only 10 minutes?
Yeah.
we have to
Yeah,
be
so-
fully prepared if we're gonna do this.
And you say,
I don't think we can split the difference.
even as you said, if it's impossible, the whole point is it's not going to be impossible. There is
Yes,
going to
if
be
it's something that we will not give up, the bow.
Well,
I
there are
don't know.
plenty of things that I think we would be unwilling to give up.
A couple of minutes pass by, and you start to see that ray sort of just below the surface coming back a little quicker than you might have expected, to be honest. And as it returns, it kind of floats, and then it kind of waits for you to get close enough down
Okay,
to the
kinda
water
kneel
there.
down and...
2 ways into the ship.
Oh, okay, okay,
Most of the fish went in one way.
okay.
Couldn't get very far. Not all filled with water.
Oh, right. Okay, good to know. Good to know. Did you see the sea hag or no?
No.
No. So she must be in the dry part. These.
It sort of looks at you. It can't confirm your suspicions.
I can see it.
fucking okay.
If you say so.
There's a possibility that we might get into a fight with this sea hag. We might not, but we might. Since you said that you don't like her, you have friends?
Yes?
Yes. If I were to give you some kind of a signal, would it be possible for you to provide a bit of a distraction for us if the room were to flood? It's a lot of ifs.
What kind of distraction?
Perhaps a bit of a swarm for a moment, and then you could all disperse so you don't get hurt.
Give me a persuasion check.
Interesting.
Okay, persuasion, 14.
14. Okay.
Okay, should the signal be, I suppose, if I do this? If I put my hands above my head, like this?
Will I be able to see you?
If you can't, it wouldn't work anyway because she won't be underwater, so don't worry about it. If you see me do this, then if you could come, that's great. But
Okay.
keep yourself safe, yeah?
Okay.
Okay, I really appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Tell Scooter I said hello.
I will. I am Safira. I will tell Scooter. Well, do you have a name?
It's already kind of.
Didn't think
You'll know, you know.
Didn't think so.
Water dripping.
Okay, yeah, so there are 2 entrances. The fish were mostly going in the one way. There's one that's sort of, I suppose, was he saying that there was one like underwater? He didn't
He
exactly
said that there was
describe.
2 underwater. He couldn't
Okay.
see the breach above because he's only underwater. And he was saying that most of the fish were going in through one hole in the ship or something, and that there was 2 holes in the ship that you could get into.
Okay, so there were 2 holes that we can get into underwater. That would be probably a surprise entry for her. It's mostly fish going in through that area.
Wouldn't be a surprise. She's letting them in.
Well, it would be a surprise if 4 humanoids
Yes.
came in through that hole. But the other thing, I asked them, if possible, if I could signal to them and they might make some kind of a distraction if we're in trouble. Problem is, she seems to be in a part of the ship that's not underwater. there's some sort of air bubble or something down there.
There's definitely
Part of
parts
the
that
ship is
aren't
out of
underwater.
water. Yeah.
Well, also,
He saw the entire inside of the ship.
No, he can't see the entire. It's not all underwater, so he didn't see the sea hag.
so that's good news. We may not actually need a potion of water breathing then if he got very quickly inside.
I think you're making an assumption there that she's not underwater.
Well,
There
he
could be
didn't-
parts of the ship underwater that
Yes.
he did not see.
For sure, but he did not see her.
But the good news is that if we dive listen, the good news is if we dive under, it's very quickly until you're up above water again. So we wouldn't need to take a water breathing potion. That's what he literally just said.
Yep.
I mean, she
What's
may
the
have
face?
a way to hold
I didn't
it.
hear what he said, but
What Safira's communicating at least.
I'm
is that-
hearing is that he didn't see the whole ship. That's all I hear.
Yes, because he couldn't go further.
Yes, because he said that it would be on land.
Okay.
So we don't need a potion of water breathing to get in. That's good.
Reminder that if we get into a scuffle or anything, potion of water breathing is still valuable because when you're struck, you're holding your breath when you're not under a
Right,
potion of water
yes.
breathing effect.
Right.
So just keep that in mind.
For you in particular, you need to be careful.
This sounds like we're planning an attack right now. Are we planning an attack
What
right
are we
now?
feeling, guys?
I think we should. I think if we're doing this, we have to do it.
Negotiation is my vote.
I vote for attack.
Is there a vote for not doing this at all?
Yes. But then we're divided, so you would be the deciding.
Oh,
vote.
jeez! I
You spoke last! You spoke last, baby!
With one vote in 3 different directions, they look to Orba.
I'm looking past you because I can't see you. Somewhere around you.
He goes, Orba?
Orba?
Erland will
Guys?
angle Graven so he's facing
Guys,
Orba.
help me talk to Orba over here.
Keep vamping, keep vamping, because I don't know.
We're all just staring at you.
Listen, actually, if he didn't see the sea hag, then we could at least investigate an area under the boat without running into the sea hag first.
I think
I
that's
think
not
she
a
might
mistake.
detect or see or have a fishy friend. Help.
All right.
He did say that she did have friends in the water.
Oh, and he said he would swarm?
I feel a
How
little
you
bit
going to-
guilty for asking, but
Fight.
yes. Okay.
But if we do it, we prepare, we use materials. This is a big fight, so
We
is
cannot
it
make-
important enough that we use up some of the plants?
I mean, I obviously don't want
My
us to. Yes, I think it's important enough to use up, potentially, let's say. I mean, look, obviously, if it gets nasty, we get out.
But we've had that plan before, but sometimes we cannot retreat without fatalities.
You're
We know
right.
that.
Yes, I
Yeah.
know.
Okay.
Okay, I think we use whatever we need to use to get out of there alive. I think we have to be prepared to do. If we're prepared to fight, we have to be prepared to lose resources to do it. We can't do it half-assed. We've got to go in there. So if we're going to do this, then we have to be prepared to take those resources away from the fight with the chimera, and not assume that they'll be replenished by pockets.
Well, now I feel like I don't deserve a
No,
vote
you
because-
absolutely deserve a
No,
vote.
That's
but
not
this
the
is your-
case.
but this is your
No.
thing. This is your mission, and I don't want to jeopardize it by using up stuff for other things.
Exactly, this is my concern. This is why we vote. So I mean, safest option is to leave it alone.
Erland, you haven't spoken in some time.
I made my vote. I think it's unwise to do anything else. I'll do anything else if the party determines it to be best. I'm also, the offer for me going in by myself still is on the table.
I'm looking kind of away from him, ignoring him, and just shaking my head at Orba.
But you didn't like my version of it, where you go in the front door as we go in the bottom.
No, because I don't want to get destroyed going in the front door. I would like to go in, if I'm going to go in by myself, I want to go in the safest way possible. And I have been thinking, and there is a piece of information I could give them that I wouldn't want anyone to know.
Wait, what is the safest way?
The way against when the wind blows.
Right.
In order to do that thing, I might need someone with me. Because the only reason it's valuable is because I don't want you to know.
And somehow you think that
What?
she's not going to want to take something valuable from whoever goes in there with you as well.
No,
I
I
think she'll
do.
be somehow
Hey,
content with just
I
the
have
one of
already
you.
argued my point, and I have said what I feel.
Right, well,
And I have said that I am willing to go in and I am willing to give up a part of myself, I think it might be stronger if someone came with me.
I'm gonna ask you guys in or out of character to take a vote here and decide what you guys are doing.
I vote negotiation.
I vote turn around.
Fuck me.
Are you RPing that, guys, or is that what you want to do?
They have already expressed that in character. I'm gonna ask you guys to
To as people?
You can do it however you want, but you gotta decide.
If nobody's changing their vote, the vote was fight. So unless anybody changes it.
It's this ranked choice voting where you're like,
Yeah.
fight, run.
Okay, you
I'm
want
going
to
to
turn away?
confuse this. If Orba votes fight, I leave. I'm not fighting. I refuse to fight if Orba's involved.
Okay,
So
then
that's
we're
now
leaving. No,
2
then
for
we're
turning
leaving.
around and 2 for fighting.
Alright, then we're leaving.
Marcus of the Mountain shows up. He's like, oh, I think we should fight.
We
Then-
can't risk Orba.
Okay, in that case, we're gonna.
You change yours as well.
Yeah, of course. If he's not coming in, if we're not going in full force, then I don't think we go in at all.
What's the wind doing right now?
It has.
You fucking asshole.
It has since after the ray came back. There was maybe a couple more minutes, and now it has returned to being with the wind. It's not against the wind at the moment.
You son of a bitch.
We don't do that. Keep our resources for the chimera.
Okay, I think that's a wise choice. Yep. Okay, I'm kind of giving the ship one last look as to like.
And that's where we're gonna end.
Guys, I'm sorry! I'm sorry!
I wasn't gonna rescue him from the decision. The decision must be made.
I'm sorry.
Oh my god, we just talked about this for 3 hours and we're not doing it.
I know.
God damn it.
Listen, it be like that sometimes. It really do be like that sometimes.
I don't want to see that.
I said at the end there that we were doing it. Because the vote said we were, and then people bailed.
I'm not.
Fail.
I made my point very clear, and I don't want to risk Orba going in.
Fair enough.
That is where we're
Fair
going to
enough.
end tonight's episode.
All right.
And as the group takes some
So mad at all
tentative
of
steps.
I'm so mad at all of you. We're not
As the
ready.
group
Duke
takes
it
some
out.
tentative steps
Duke it
eastward
out.
down the beach, you take a look kind of over your shoulder at the ship.
Oh!
I mean,
Walking in.
you know that means that if you run in there, he's gonna run after you.
That's true, actually.
Orba starts going on this.
No, that's for next week.
We will join you
Fuck.
next week.
God damn it. Shit. Fuck. Fuck.
I apologize.
Sorry.
I think.
Sometimes you gotta make some hard negotiations.
Yeah.
Oh,
Listen.
I'm just.
And that is where we
So-
will
Oh man, AITA on this week's episode discussion. Who is the asshole? I
Vote.
think it's me.
I put the link in the Discord.
I don't think it's
Pokedoc
you.
is going
I
to be
don't think it's
making.
you. I don't think
think
any of
it's
us are
me.
the asshole. I think we're all a bunch of
Channel
morons.
People
Are
want to see
we
us
the
go
morons?
get fucked up. I am the asshole.
Oh.
To be fair, the videos with the most views are ones where
We
That's
almost
where we
die?
almost die, I guess.
Orba's like, do we consider the views?
But what I want you to consider is
you haven't thought of the views, you bitch.
The views, you bitch.
Please go join us in the Discord.
Yeah,
Pokedoc is
guys.
going to be making a
Yeah,
little
tell
channel.
us what you would do.
Oh my God.
And when you vote
Yeah.
overwhelmingly in favor of getting
Yeah,
into
oh
trouble.
my god, getting the shit kicked out of us. Oh man.
AITA, guys.
Okay.
All right, everybody.
So-
Let me thank
Thank you so much for joining
Oh,
us as
Jesus
always.
Christ. Oh, I can't with you guys.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Oh, I love you all so much. You're just my best friends. You're just so wonderful.
Signing
So
off.
mad at you.
Goes. Signing Team
We
goes.
We've done 2 things tonight.
You guys are team leaves, not team.
Oh my god. Alright. Happy Niac resubscribed. Ali said you did a sub. And, oh, I got those. Sorry. Sticky Bicky rated.
Oh.
You tuned in just
Just
in
in time to
see
watch.
nothing.
Yeah, epic
gifted a sub. Rank
argument
Spider
about
Wrangler
a
gifted a sub. Oh, yay! Everybody's being so generous and re-gifting stuff.
Oh, wow.
Ali Slayer did 200 bits. Thank you all so very much. Please join the Discord and check out all the dumb shit that we.
Yeah, say hey. Give us your plans. What would the hag take from you?
Oh,
That's the
man.
prompt.
Oh my
What would
God.
the hag take from you?
As players.
I don't know.
People.
Lots
All
of
right,
stuff.
everybody. We will see you next week at the same
Come on.
time, 7 o'clock, and we will work our way further along the sands toward the Isthmus of
Or Orba just runs into.
Don't think I'm not considering it. Okay.
She's by the shore. She's like,
Oh, I feel drawn.
all right,
Oh my
everybody.
God.
Thank you guys so much. We
Oh,
really
thank you
appreciate
so
it.
much.
We appreciate the love. Have a great
Bye.
week.
Bye.
Good night.
Fuck.